right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks so much for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything or thing. Sometimes you do, and when that happens, I say, I got you. All 3 hours going to be posted both to iTunes and in our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the program. You can always email the show if you like. JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. You can find me on Twitter at JCameronShow. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. If you are to miss any of that, you can watch us on YouTube as well and get caught up there. Go to YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee. Hello, YouTubers. You can also find us via the Periscope on Twitter at 979 ESPN Radio. And I think that's it, right? We got everything?
I think that's right, yeah. I'm doing multimedia director duty at the moment and making sure everything is where it needs to be.
You all right? Everything okay?
Everything looks good, yeah.
I see where my man Jared just noted that Athlon Sports has the Noles versus the Longhorns in the Camping World Bowl in Orlando. That's the last thing I saw before we came on.
Oh.
Camping World Bowl
really?
in Orlando. Those are low expectations from Athlon for Florida State, but I think it falls in line with the low expectations for Florida State that have been pretty well predicted across the board. I do think we have the potential here in Tallahassee to watch a surprise season get underway here in the not-too-distant future. In the interim, we'll just worry about tackling ACC meetings next week. In fact, 1 week from today, I will be in Charlotte, North Carolina. On this particular day, I'll be talking to the teams and coaches and players of the Coastal because the meeting is set for Wednesday, Coastal, Thursday, Atlantic. But they saved the good stuff for the second day. But there is real intrigue out of the Coastal, and the first guy that I want to talk to is Justin Fuente to get a sense of where he's at with Virginia Tech and the problems they've had this offseason. And then, of course, there's the thought of talking to Mark Richt, whom I spoke to a year ago about Miami. Although he was, I can kind of understand how the folks that covered him at Georgia struggled with that at times. He's kind of a weird interview.
He's a surfer guy.
He's a surfer guy. He's aloof. He's distant. I don't know how much he likes doing these things. The sense I get is that he hates it. And he's not terse. He's just not forthcoming. He's not in love with the interview process. The coaches that you love to sit down and talk to are the ones that really get excited about the give and the take. The questions being posed to them they view as a means to kind of, I guess, shape an opinion about where their program's at. They see it as opportunity. A lot of these guys are really good at it. The people that are best with the media anyhow, oftentimes, as we've noted before, answer the question as if they're answering what they wish had been asked as opposed to what is asked. And that can be annoying for the person asking the question, but at the same time, it's fun to kind of get a gauge on a coach's personality. It leads to better questions down the line. They're not always aware of that, but the ones that are, well, then that's an awful lot of fun. And Fuente gets it, so that should be... He knows what that angle is going to be coming into the ACC meetings.
Yeah, he gets it. It's just
he may be defensive.
When you face adversity heading into an interview setting, you can do one of two things. You can start talking more, or you can completely shut it down and give 3 to 5 word answers. And if you expand, it's just into the cliche world, and you're useless. So
well,
it should be interesting.
That was always fascinating with Coach Fisher, was that you knew how ready he was or how excited he was or not to do an interview. And I learned his tendencies over the years, backwards and forwards, just from our Sunday conversations. And I'll be very excited to learn what Willie is like. Willie is sort of monotone anyhow, so it'll be hard to get a feel early on for whether or not he's in the mood to do the interview or not. But with Jimbo, you could always tell within 30 seconds. This is going to go really well. This is going to be an enlightening conversation. This is even if it involved uncomfortable questions, that had to be asked after a tough loss to a team that we were favored to beat. He would sometimes still be really, really engaged. In fact, most often he was really engaged after games like that. Didn't shy away from those questions or those answers, but it was the ones that you maybe expected something more you didn't get that were always kind of off-putting and weird. And, every coach is different. Every personality is different. I get that. I understand that. I think with Willie, he's a guy that has already said before about his style, about his interaction with the media, He's answered this at a press conference from the media that, hey, I always got along with these guys. I always got along with the press. I can pretty much answer anything. I'm a big boy. I'll answer the question. Just be fair. Don't be. And his thought was, the only time that he ever had a problem with anybody was at Oregon when they kind of blindsided him after interviewing him for a story they were writing regarding the health problems that some players had during training. And he gave an hour-long interview, and the guy writes the story, and there were no quotes from Willie. And he was a little perturbed because it didn't feature those answers.
Right. I'd be mad if you didn't ask for me to at least tell my side of the events. But I wouldn't be as mad as I am now that you made me waste an hour of my time and then didn't print a word of what I
had to say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna have a chance tomorrow to be over at FSU and talk to a couple players, and I'm interested to hear what their thoughts are. I mean, we talked about it some yesterday. What it represents to have a Cam Akers going as a sophomore to the ACC meetings is interesting. I mean, obviously it shows that he's not going to be playing favorites towards those that have seniority. Just if you're a good player and you're doing what's asked of you, and he thinks you make a good representative, then you're going to go. And because, you could have gone another route, maybe with a senior like a DeMarcus Christmas, could have gone that route, but instead you're going with a sophomore.
Well, he's the most talented player on the team relative to position, I think. There's no question about that.
Yeah.
He'll be your game breaker.
By the way, think about that, Tom. Think about that for a second. Cam Akers, as highly touted as he was, incredibly well documented, as we talked about, came in on a team that went 7-6. He joins a club that, this is before last year, but he joins a team that goes on to go 7-6, that has a myriad of problems, including losing the starting quarterback for the year in game number 1. An offensive line that is wildly inconsistent, primarily struggles really to pass block, but is inconsistent and certainly not dominant, and, oh, by the way, suffered its fair share of injuries. See Landon Dickerson, your most talented lineman, going down. You had all kinds of problems week in and week out with even nominal opponents, people that you expected to beat by 4 and 5 touchdowns, and yet that guy, as a true freshman, comes in and goes for over 1,000 yards and is now clearly the representative that Florida State would put forward at the ACC meetings, and that, frankly, me and my colleagues, and I know if you were voting on this, would have weighed in probably exactly so. You can answer now, but I had to submit my top 40 for Gene's WarChant.com top 40 countdown, what we do every year for the most important / talented players in any upcoming season. Cam Akers was number 1 unanimous. Gene, Corey, Ira, me, everybody that voted Cam. It's not even close.
I think you have to. I do think, though, what's odd about the Cam Akers situation is, let's just say that Cam was not on the team and he was not on your roster. The drop-off in production at that position would not be as steep as it would be for, say, the offensive line. If you're coming at it from the importance standpoint, I don't know that he's the most important player on the team, but there's no way that you can say anything other than he's the most talented player and is the biggest game breaker on the team. He is both of those things without breaking a sweat.
You are right. Because of the depth of talent that Florida State has at running back, they could, knock on wood, it doesn't happen, but they could lose Cam Akers and the offense could still hum. You could still end up having a great year because you have so much game-breaking ability at the position. Even going down to a guy like Amir Rasul, not to discredit him, but Amir Rasul is not like on the tip of the tongue of every Florida State fan, the way that maybe LeBron is after the spring game, with that 90-yard run or whatever it was, where everybody's going, whoa, look at that.
Right. Like a Rasul, Jacques Patrick, dual-headed monster is great. You've got yourself a bruiser and you got yourself a speed guy, and they both can kind of cross over roles a little bit.
You could be fine, right? But they're so talented at the position that, it's remarkable. So you're right. Importance. But here's the thing. When you got a guy, we watched it, Dalvin Cook was the be-all, end-all to Florida State's offense a couple years ago. Without him, they're absolutely doomed. It's just, how many times? He almost won the Clemson game. If it wasn't for a bad call, he is going to win the Clemson game, basically. That group this year doesn't have to be, run by a singular guy like that. But Cam, while maybe not at Dalvin's level just yet, is where, well, he's on par. because you just saw him break certain records, and we know that if he's here for another 2 years.
Yeah. What's funny about Cam is, of course, he had the big game against Syracuse, and that's well documented. Those are where the bulk of his long touchdown highlights come from, pretty much the only ones. He only had 4 games over 100 yards last year. That's it.
He's averaging like 70 yards a game or something like that, right?
Right. And usually you see where a guy might go for 8 for 12 or 8 for 23. There's a real stinker, but then he has consistently 80 to 100 yards. That really isn't the story of Cam's season. And in terms of rushing attempts, he only went over 20 carries twice last year. I would think you could at least double the amount of times that he's going to go over 100 yards. That's 4. I would think he'd go for 8, given how often we're going to be running the football, given how many plays we're going to be running.
Yes, I think that's correct.
Okay, this is the argument for 2,000, right? And I would think that you could probably triple the games in which he gets 20 or more carries. He had 2 last year. I would think he gets at least 6 this season.
I would make it a habit.
You're running more plays.
Yes, and he's your most dynamic player.
Right.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. For that reason, I slotted Jacques Patrick way down the list. I mean, a lot of people might raise an eyebrow when they see where I put him. I don't want to ruin the list for Gene because they're going to put this up on War Chant here
You can talk about your list.
But yeah, my specific list, I had Patrick way down at 30. And it was the lowest by far. People were going to say, what in the world? But I've got him behind, like Trey McKitty at tight end. I've got him behind Jaden Woodby as a freshman. I've got him behind, Alec Eberle, offensive lineman. Talk
about importance.
Yeah, again, I'm mixing. I mean, I've got him below Emmett Rice. I got him below, Cole Minshew. I'm talking about what has to happen for Florida State to be great is not Jacques Patrick to be overly productive. They've got so many other guys that can do it. It's not a knock on him. It's just they don't need him to be great. I mean, I need him to – if he's going to be a lead blocker in some capacity, if he's going to catch the ball out of the backfield maybe, if he's going to be a guy that really helps you in the red zone, short yardage, stuff like that, I got you. He may end up having some pretty gaudy stats when it comes to touchdowns even.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's of vital importance the way that other guys are who are less notable, at least in terms of the public eye.
Yeah, there's no doubt that Cam's overall production, if he's healthy, is going to go through the roof.
If they wanted to, Gene and I were talking about this today, if they wanted to feature him in a way that really, really taxed him, given the offense, 2,000 yards is not crazy.
No, it's not. Last year, consider this again, he really wasn't that big of a game-breaking factor for the Noles. He had a couple of big games, but he was more just in a rotation than he was a featured player. We saw some flashes towards the end of the season, but once again, 4 games, that's it, that he crossed the 100-yard plateau. He nearly hit 200 against Syracuse. He had 199. He had 194 carries and 16 catches, 210 touches for over 1,140 yards. And he wasn't even a huge factor in the offense, and the offense was slow as hell. So you're going to speed up the offense.
Say the least.
He's going to be a feature player. That's what this, Charlotte trip tells me, is Willie has seen more than enough to make him the featured player in the offense. Yes, there's no doubt in my mind if he's healthy, he'll crack 2,000 all-purpose yards. The question is, would he go over 2,000 rushing yards?
I think the other interesting questions as we sit here on the verge of going to the ACC meetings, you and I taking a week off before that or during that, I mean, covering that in the midst of a vacation. But that's really, to me, the moment that you launch into almost all football all the time, and it's only a week away. So we're preoccupied by this conversation now, really, for the rest of the summer. This is where you go. The bigger question marks to me, in a weird way, involve, well, first of all, you start at quarterback. DeAndre Francois, James Blackman. When we were doing this list, it's bizarre because on the one hand, look, the composite list has them in the top 5, both of them. But certainly the loser of that job could fall all the way to 50th. I mean, how important are they if they're sitting their ass on the bench?
So they're both in the top 5 of that list.
Yeah, because you don't know who's going to win. Yeah. So it's a cop-out, basically, from all of us. It's our way of saying, except for Ira, he went with Francois, and then Blackman he had way down by around 20. Mm-hmm. But that's because he had decided this is who's going to win the job, and then once you do that, the other one's no longer nearly as important,
Right.
unless, of course, there's an injury, which you can't project.
Yeah, so he's playing the prediction game.
Yeah, you played the prediction game. I wasn't willing to do that. I think it's fair to say that this is the first very real, big-time quarterback battle that Florida State has seen, that we've seen in a long time. I don't believe the Coker-Winston battle was a battle in any way, shape, or form.
McGuire-Golson, the act of bringing him here makes it not a battle?
Not a battle at all. Okay. You would never bring a kid in to sit behind Sean McGuire. That's not what was happening. I said it at the time. There was no way, no how.
You don't believe in retrospect that Coker-Winston was a battle?
Not at all. Not at all.
That's a change.
No, I believe that Jimbo was right when he said that they were even in practice, that Jameis frequently, for lack of a better term, screwed off at practice, and that made it competitive if you were solely judging on what did you do on Tuesday.
You don't think he was agonizing over the decision?
Not at all. I think that
okay.
No, because I think that he knew a couple of things. All things being equal, you're going with that kid over Coker, right? You're going because the upside for Jameis Winston is so much greater. So much greater. Wasn't even close. Not even close.
Well, I understand. Yes, and history would bear that out.
Yes.
What was to come would bear that out. But
Jimbo said that he had never seen a quarterback prospect like Jameis Winston. Ever.
So is it that Jimbo and his way with the truth, did that change the nature of how you perceive that event? Because at the time, he agonized over the decision.
Yeah, he says he agonized. Here's what I think. I think he was trying to motivate Jameis Winston. I think he also was being very literal. So I believe that on a Wednesday, when he came off the field and people were interviewing him about how things went, he could rightfully say, well, they both had their moments today. Just when it looks like one of them's getting ahead, the other one comes along and makes some play. I believe that's the way things were playing out, yes. I also believe that he knew deep down that there's your guy. That's the guy. That's the guy. When these lights turn on, I'm going with that guy. If he doesn't screw it up, out here, I'm going with that guy. That's what I believe. I don't think this is that. This is entirely different. First of all, neither one of them are nearly as talented as Jameis Winston. Hell, we don't know if they're as talented as Coker for that matter. But here's the deal.
Coker did win a natty.
You could have won the natty with that team. But the thing is, this will be a legitimate, they're dead ass even, I bet, walking into camp. If anything, maybe James Blackman slightly ahead.
I would think because of everything else other than football, yes.
Right. But if it's just on ability, we're going to sit back and watch. And if it's pure ability, I think most people would vote Francois ahead of Blackman. Maybe unfairly, but I bet you they would.
He has more tools. It doesn't mean he's better.
Right. But if it's based on the total package, meaning you've got to be a great leader, you got to be responsible, you got to be accountable, you got to be all these things that DeAndre Francois has failed to be around every turn, then Blackman probably has a slight edge. But we're about to embark on a real quarterback battle where every day we're going to go, this is interesting. Let's find out what happened today. Who's ahead? Who's going to be our starting quarterback? Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
There's bodies decomposing in containers tonight in an abandoned building where
summer is heating up, and so are the Makita deals at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. Purchase a brushless premium 5-amp-hour hammer drill impact kit and receive your choice of a free bare tool and a free 6-amp-hour battery.
Long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Postal Service. See why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone at USPS.com/future.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachian Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Parker Brothers Roofing says don't play games with your roof. Protect your home and your family. The Parker Brothers tell you the truth. We'll fix your roof, cause it's what we do. With quality, integrity, and pride. Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
Hey, this is Wendell Parker of Parker Brothers Roofing. Most startup companies go out of business within their first 3 years. It takes years of experience for a roofing company to be exposed to and learn all the things that can go wrong. Don't gamble your valuable home to an inexperienced roofer. Parker Brothers has been in business in the community since 1995. Give us a call now at 656-8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
TGC 042221, CCC 049350.
Check out the all-new Team Dean at Dean Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram's Summer Clearance Event, the 2017 Dodge Journey Crossroads Edition, starting at $32,585. But after dealer discounts on their Summer Clearance Event, you pay only $25,793. That's a savings of over $6,700. Only at Dean Chrysler Dodge Jeep in Bainbridge, Georgia, 1305 East Shotwell Street, or 229-248-0153. That's 229-248-0153.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show. Jeff Cameron Show.
Our thanks to Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. I appreciate you. They are the title sponsor of the Jeff Cameron Show. It's also where all the pros and do-it-yourself workers shop. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Big box pricing with local service. 2 locations to choose from. 1110 Stuckey Ave, 3269 Crawfordville Highway. And, oh, by the way, this Saturday, the Tallahassee location, every Saturday, 8 to noon. That's how that works. By the way, you can email jcs at 979@espnradio.com. Plenty have. Appreciate those emails. Keep them coming. Good fodder for the program. And plenty of question marks abound. This is all of us talking about projections for the upcoming season. Yeah, I am getting more bullish. Maybe that's just enthusiasm. Maybe that's just an eagerness, a willingness to kind of turn the page and get past summer and embrace the fall and upcoming season. But I do feel like more and more every day, Tom, 9 wins is kind of my own standard, right? I understand why you look at FSU's schedule, why you look at the Vegas numbers, and you kind of get things aligned and you say, well, it's sensible to project Florida State to lose 4 to 5 games. But I do think I keep falling back on this idea that getting people to play to their ability and to try goes an awful long way because it allows talent to take over. And that talent a year ago could be seen fleetingly at times, but it would come and go. It just wasn't consistent, and that had to do with effort and focus, and that was all part and parcel to the problems going on behind the scenes in the locker room, going on behind the scenes with the coaching staff. And so if you unburden yourself with all of those frustrations and things that would lead you astray, then you would suspect you'll see a lot more production out of guys that you already know to be very, very talented.
Well, I go back to some of the discussions we had last year, either at the Man Cave show or the Seventh Hill when we would do our Friday shows. And as the season would go along, before the Jimbo talk really got to fever pitch level, we talk about how this is an unlucky season beyond what's going on with the coaching staff and our frustrations with Coach Kelly or the offensive line. You got injuries left and right. You lose your starting quarterback. The offensive line has a MASH unit out there. Defensively speaking, you got a whole laundry list of issues. Auden Tate's hurt. I mean, all of these things are stacking up. You're to the point where you have to turn to, in a short portion of the season, a true freshman quarterback and a true freshman tailback. Same backfield? I mean, really?
Right.
To where Nooney Murray is like the kid with the most seniority on the field for stretches of a time in terms of your skill position players. It was just an absolute mess. And so if you even look at it from that perspective, and I heard you guys talking about it like this a little bit on Seminole Headlines yesterday, the fact that Florida State was able to muster 6 wins in such a circumstance is kind of a testament to how good the roster can be.
Well, and I've said that repeatedly, too, that you think of the behind-the-scenes disarray and the frustration and the anger and a certain level of despondency from players, the disconnect that was documented going all the way back to the Showtime series. I mean, the HBO series. Oh, Showtime series. Sorry.
Showtime. No, it wasn't big time. It was second level.
Yeah. So going all the way back to that, it all culminates in last year's season, and yet that team still, I know, awkward as it was, finished 7-6. And most teams that have the kind of dysfunction we're describing finish 4-8 like Florida does routinely. That doesn't happen here. Florida State finds a way and continues to find a way to have winning seasons over and over and over and over, and I could be here a while every year. But that is a testament to just how talented they are.
Well, and it's also the investment you get. Now, the players may be learning bad habits last year. Certainly it would appear that way in terms of what you need to bring to the table for the weight room, being on time to meetings, game day habits of showing up on the sidelines for your teammates,
supporting your seniors on senior day,
right,
as opposed to Snapchatting,
right. But if you're James Blackman or you're Cam Akers, the experience you get, I mean, the on-field exposure to the speed of the game, that's invaluable.
Oh, without question, there is no doubt. I mean, one of the things I'm excited to ask Cam Akers is, anybody who took in last year and went game by game and watched his progress couldn't help but note the development of patience. The talent was always obvious. The talent was always, and we've documented this, was always there. But you talk about growth in a guy during a season that's completely lost. It was really evident. It was probably the greatest aspect of last season. Like, if you were to come to me at the end of a 7-6 campaign that was an unmitigated disaster and say, what's the best thing you saw this year? I would have said, well, if you're talking about an individual game or effort, I might cite the moment that James Blackman continued to get up despite being absolutely brutalized as a true freshman in a year in which he should have never seen the field, and fought on to come back, including overcoming his own transgressions in a half or 2 or 3 quarters to lead game go-ahead drives that should have been winning drives. Perhaps I would have cited one of those. But if you're just talking about the development of a player, it's Cam Akers.
Yeah, and the thing I'll be interested to see this year is Cam's vision's better. And I've always been a huge Cam guy. The moment that he was able to take Derwin James and they face head up and and he falls forward a little bit, I thought, ooh, that kid should be a prom, and he's able to at least hold his own against Derwin James coming full speed downhill right at him.
Got a little what for.
He's got a little what for to him. He will always be, at the very least, somebody who can bust off a 20 or 30-yard run, like at a moment's notice. He has good cutbacks, and he has the ability to bounce. My question is he a one-trick pony? Because what Dalvin was able to do was make guys miss, set somebody up, bounce it outside, and house call. Is there a second or a third tier to his vision? Is he a back with good vision, above average vision, elite vision? What is he develop into being? Because I know he's going to be a physical beast. I mean, if the hole we design is there for him, he will hit it, and he will hit it into a first down. But what is he in terms of creativity? It was better towards the end of the year, but I want to see how good it gets.
I think it's going to go the same way that Dalvin Cook's career went, and that is that we go from, okay, I see the spark, I see the talent, I see the ability, got a little room to grow there. Because remember, Dalvin didn't become the Dalvin you're describing right away. It took a little bit of time, so much so that somehow Jimbo thought Mario Pinder should be the starting running back over him. But anyhow, that said, Dalvin took a little time. And as he did, he got better and better and better at it, to the point where all of a sudden the complete back that we end up watching is a guy that, isn't just breaking 5 and 6 tackles at a time, but a guy that's setting up long runs, setting up players with real speed, still beating them to the corner, see Clemson, all of those things. We got used to it. We took it for granted. But that wasn't Dalvin in his first 9 to 10 starts at all. And so Cam Akers showed in his first season, in a lost year, the ability to do that by season's end. I think he's going to continue to grow. I mean, yeah.
Well, there are things that are going to shock you about a player as he goes from really good to perhaps, program all-time top 3 or whatever. And for Dalvin, the thing that was stunning was it went from, boy, this team is bad at tackling, to guys just bounce off of him, and I don't know how it happens.
The USF game. You remember that? He's running over 9 guys or whatever, and we're going,
nobody can tackle.
At first we did. We thought, well, these guys are terrible at tackling. This is awful. And then after a while we just conceded, it's not that they can't tackle, they can't tackle him.
Yeah, the moment for me was the Louisville home game. That was Lamar Jackson's freshman year, and that was a noon kick, and he came out of the game a couple of times for hamstring issues again. But there was a run. They're going towards where the Champions Club is
one
now.
You're talking about, yep.
And he gets to the sideline, and it looks like it's completely bottled up. And then he
breaks those 2 guys.
Breaks 2 guys' tackles. They have him dead to rights, and he ends up scoring on the play.
That might have been bad tackling.
It's absurd. No, but they hit him in the lower half, and they just
bounce off.
Yeah, it's like he's a Spalding ball. They just bounce right off of him. With Cam, I just wonder what that's going to be. Is it speed? Maybe there's an extra level of speed that he has, because he's not exactly Chris Thompson, but.
No.
I wonder what development there will be, because the body's already there. If somebody bounces off of a Cam Akers attempted tackle, and
as they frequently did a year ago.
Right, that's not going to shock you. Look at the kid. But what is it about him that might surprise you this season?
The Advocare Invitational, not something that you mark on your calendars, probably, but Florida State will be playing in it. Basketball, I'll tell you about it momentarily, because there's the potential to play some really good teams, including the defending national champions. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Neese Tire and Auto Service. Neese has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Neese Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Neese Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
For water heating by lowering my water heater temperature and installing low-flow shower heads.
We have time for one more caller. What do you have for us?
I make sure to use my programmable thermostat to regulate the temperature in my home when I'm away.
Thank you, caller. That's all the time we have today.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities would like to help you save as much energy as you can and save money while you're at it. Visit talgov.com for more information and start saving energy today.
Summer is heating up, and so are the Makita deals at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. Purchase a brushless premium 5-amp-hour hammer drill impact kit and receive your choice of a free bare tool and a free 6-amp-hour battery. That's a $260 value free. Makita introduces one battery, one tool for all your outdoor power equipment needs. Buy a commercial-grade Makita shafted string trimmer and add any other attachment, plus receive a matching blower free. A $189 value for free. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener with 2 locations to choose from, 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway.
The Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, who's celebrating their 95th year in business this year, would like to recognize their newest members.
Hi, I'm Corey Melton, the Vice President of Membership, and I'm proud on behalf of the Chamber to welcome from June our newest members. Aquaman Water Solutions, Armada Ammunition, Armor Realty of Tallahassee, April Butcher, Curaleaf, Florida, Ashton Partners, Midtown Reader, One Fresh Pillow, Phoenix Bin Cleaners, Pittman Law Group, and The Lodge at Wakulla Springs.
The Chamber is proud to support over 1,400 local businesses representing over 60,000 employees. For information on how your business can be a part of the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104. Once again, contact Corey Melton at 850-521-3104.
Bob Sullivan founded Bob's Auto and Collision Center with the goal of providing honest repair estimates, fair pricing, and fast service. 35 years later, he's done just that and has made Bob's Auto #1 with FSU students and Tallahassee. His daughters, Misty and Melissa, have now taken the wheel and are still providing the best car care and collision service in town. Coming soon, Bob's Auto and Collision Center is moving to Lake Bradford Road. Stay tuned for details.
Get your weekend started right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Saturdays at 6 a.m. with Fishing Florida Radio. Listen to the three amigos, Boudreaux, Steve Chapman, and Captain Mike Ortega as they catch you up to speed on what's new and biting in the North Florida region. Big-time guests, celebrities, interviews, and 3 hours of the fishing info you need. Fishing Florida Radio is brought to you by Sea Quarters Marina off Highway 98 in Carabel. Sea Quarters Marina, your full-service marina. And presented by Hobbit American Grill and Mike's Marine Supply.
Time now for your Atlanta Braves Minute. Brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey. Personal injury law is all they do.
Tuesday night at SunTrust Park, the Braves fell to the Jays by a score of 6-2 in the first of their brief 2-game interleague series. Toronto got a run off Julio Teheran in the top of the third on a solo homer from Justin Smoke, but that's all Teheran would allow through 6 2/3, responsible for a run on 3 hits with 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Marcus Stroman also allowed 1 earned run through 7 innings of work with a pair of walks and 5 Ks. The Jays offense would go on to break things open with a 5-run top of the 8th off A.J. Minter and Shane Carl that featured RBI singles from Russell Martin and Kevin Pillar and RBI doubles from Aledmys Diaz and Devin Travis. Afterwards, Minter said it was just one of those nights.
You can't worry about the bad performances. You can only move forward, like I said, and it's going to happen. And, I feel bad for Julio because he pitched a great game. And, it's just, it's baseball.
With the loss, the Braves have now dropped 6 of their last 7 games, being outscored 43-23 over that span. Meanwhile, the series wraps up tonight as newly minted All-Star Mike Fulton-Nevich gets the nod for the Braves. Hear the call live from SunTrust Park right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Basketball, it's hard to get your head around right now. You don't care to unless you're watching, I guess the summer leagues, which, good God, man. This is an aside. The summer leagues? Every night with this stuff? I know I don't have to watch, and I don't, but is there an audience for that? Are people locked into the summer league in a useless league that nobody has a chance to win but Golden State, so you can just stop now? What are we doing?
I don't know. What's the alternative?
Baseball?
NFL Live?
Yes. Sitcoms? The Air?
No, I'm saying for ESPN. You got a bunch of networks. What's the alternative?
I'm telling you, I'm being honest. Cornhole. Ping pong.
Do you enjoy watching the...
I flip over there. I'll watch
the game of bags? I try to stay away from...
No, it's not as good as Carson Palmer's cornhole tournament. Remember that? Remember when he had the big Carson Palmer cornhole?
No.
There was a whole bit about it, yeah.
Oh, my.
He was welcoming people to cornhole. And I remember going, well, the phrasing.
Right, that's why I said, do you enjoy the
bag game?
The bag?
Yeah, you didn't want to say.
No, you enjoy the...
I love to throw the bags. Yeah. And, no, I can't watch a lot of it, but I'm serious. You know what? I'll be honest here. I've been known to watch 10 minutes of that badminton stuff they got going on these days.
Okay.
I will watch it.
See, now Jamie has said it's really intense.
It is very intense.
Is it really?
Unbelievable.
It's on the Olympic channel, the NBC Universal.
I've flipped it around and watched it. It's much more interesting than the damn summer league in basketball, which is useless.
I was doing work on the computer and I don't face the television, and she says, "You got to see this. It's really intense." And I was like, "It's badminton."
They don't fool around.
Really?
Oh, they're playing for blood, man. It's for keeps when you get into the badminton at that level. It is unbelievable. They are able to hit a shuttlecock at speeds you could not imagine.
Ooh.
It is remarkable.
Yeah.
And I have watched a few times in which I thought, well, I don't even see the damn shuttlecock. Where is it? And boom, there they go. Pap, 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 pap. It's really quick. Guys freaking diving all over the place, hitting each other in the face. It's nuts.
We called it the birdie.
Yeah,
when I was,
but I know it's the birdie, but I call it the shuttlecock. That is the official name.
That is the official name.
I'm not, yeah. But I will just say that it's more interesting than the summer league. It is. It is.
What happened to the world's strongest man? Why is that not playing for 4 hours a day?
Never thought I could miss it. But when I flip on the NBA's summer league games, I miss the world's strongest man.
My dad and I have some great memories of summer nights.
Yeah. Watching these guys throw kegs over a wall.
That was the one. It was that or pulling the truck. Those were the two things he would always stop for.
The pulling the truck, I don't think you have to be that strong. If you get it moving, it's easy after that. I'm not saying I could do it.
They tilt the camera to make it look like it's uphill.
It's ridiculous. No, I never thought, but the throwing of a keg over a wall at the height that they had it, now that's a full keg. That's a damn difficult task.
And then they do the stunt jump and yell after they do it. And you're like, oof.
I would also say that picking up the awkward round stone and having to carry it, the different weights.
Yeah, they have the Atlas stone, the Africa stone.
Right.
Yeah.
That's always it's awkward.
The Africa stone is brutal because of the awkward nature of it. Yeah.
It's like any piece of furniture you've ever had to carry through a narrow hall. You're like, I can't lean. This is really frustrating. And then you're worried about your hands when you go through the doorway and you're going to hit them on the side, which is real pain. Real pain.
That is.
There are a lot of things that happen when you move furniture. You hit your shins sometimes. That's frustrating. Mm-hmm. Your hands underneath like a couch or something that's really heavy and it digs in. It's got one of those pullouts to it or something. But nothing hurts more than when you're entering awkwardly at an angle into a bedroom, whether it be with a mattress or an armoire, something like that, and you're trying to get that through and angle it just right, and your hand hits a corner because your buddy pushes too quickly. You're like, God damn it, man. That hurts.
Gosh darn it, man. Yep.
I didn't say that word. It sounded
said,
like,
damn it,
yeah,
man.
But it sounded like it.
It sure did.
I confess it did. But you just, damn it, man. That is not cool. Easy. I've been on both ends of that. I've been the guy on the other end. Come on, go.
Well, that's where, and you're moving up the stairs or the couch or something, and you're like,
Yes.
all right, am I the guy which end?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Difficult task. 2008 Advocare Invitational, everybody. Florida State will be playing UAB.
The 18 one, not the 8 one. It's this year upcoming.
Oh, 2018. What
Yep.
did I say? Yeah.
8. Yeah.
I said 8?
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously, we can't go back in time. So we're good.
Those are the dark ages of the program.
No,
Leonard
no.
was still the coach, though.
We're not going back to 2008 to play in the Advocare. Redo. Villanova is in this thing. So is Memphis and Oklahoma State and LSU. And, well, anyhow, the point would be this. If Florida State can win and move in the right direction there in that their chart, you got a chance to take on some real quality competition. If not, if you move the wrong way and you end up in 7th place or 5th place, you could still face a good team, especially if they lost in the first round. But chances are you got to beat UAB early on. This is over at ESPN, the Wide World of Sports Complex there at Lake Buena Vista. And if you win, you're playing the winner of College of Charleston and LSU. Keep winning. You're either going to play, there's a good chance, Memphis, Villanova, or Oklahoma State.
Good choices, RPI boosters, and we're not afraid this year. The schedule is brutal from an RPI standpoint. So.
Well, listen, I thought about basketball the other day, and that's a good sign for the program because I don't frequently think about basketball in any way, shape, or form July the 11th or 10th, 9th, or 8th. It never comes into my thought, but it did yesterday or the other day. I think it was 2 days ago. I was thinking about, it's tough to have a representative steer a kid who's got immense talent to another program in your offseason. It's rather frustrating, but at the same time, I thought, man, they are on a run because a program that goes to the second round of the NCAA tournament 2 years ago and is seen as having a disappointing finish turns right around and makes the Elite Eight and is that close to making the Final Four. And now all of a sudden you've got a team, a program that in back-to-back years has both made the NCAA tournament and won a game, in this case this past year, more than one game. They're getting into the tournament and they're winning games. This is okay. Now we're starting to see an outlook where expectations raise consistently.
Well, and if you recall, last season as we approached the end of the regular season schedule, what was killing Florida State in the RPI was the non-conference RPI. And that's why it set up that all-important Boston College game that nobody showed up for.
Much to your dismay.
Where we ended up punching the ticket, so to speak. Mm-hmm. I know it's the overused term. But it was the non-conference RPI because if you looked at our ACC RPI, we played everybody and we played a lot of them on the road. So it was a very strong schedule. This year is shaping up to be strong front to back. So if you win 19 to 21 games in the regular season with the way the schedule, at least on paper, sets up to be right now, you are a shoo-in. And now you have 2 years of reputation points, too, and that sometimes matters.
That sometimes does matter, but I just want to get back to being at a place where we can comfortably expect, and we were for a 4-year stretch, and then we weren't for a 4-year stretch, or was it 5? Comfortably expect to be an NCAA tournament team. I mean, that's all you ask for around these parts is can you be a perennial tournament team?
Do you ask for more now?
Soon. I mean, I don't know.
Is Sweet 16 a baseline? No? Is that too much to ask?
No, not here.
So a win in the tournament is a baseline?
No, getting to the tournament is still the baseline, man. I'm not prepared to take that huge a leap just yet. I really think you have to be, an annual contender to be in the tournament, to make the tournament. You got to be a team that, 5 out of 7 years you made the NCAA tournament before I start to shift expectations to we should win some games in this thing every now and then. I don't know when it happens for a program. I know we saw it. There was a stretch there where, come on now, you got to win a game. We had that disappointing loss to Wisconsin.
Yep.
We had that back then we had gotten to that place where it was kind of, all right, it's time.
Well, I don't think it's a fireable offense to lose in the first round next year. However, I do think I expect us to win a game in the tournament next year. I mean, we got a lot of pieces coming back here.
Yeah, but also I think after the run you went on, almost anything else would be so profoundly disappointing that you almost want to project that. But in truth, if I tell you that this program is at a place where it will go to back-to-back-to-back tournaments, we're done talking about anything more. Anything else is gravy.
The way we looked in the tournament and towards the end of the season, and the way we played defense has me, I don't know, expecting more out of this group.
One of the components of that defense, especially,
Obiagu was important.
Well, I was going to say.
Kabengele, though, is coming on now. That looks like that's going to be
Which is why
I
expect us to make the tournament, Tom Lang, and once again say back-to-back-to-back years, and now we're cooking with gas, brother. We're doing some things, buddy, back-to-back-to-back. Now, year 4 after back-to-back-to-back seasons, I'll say, hey.
But we might not have a lot of experience returning at that point.
Listen, then you're perennially power. That's what you are. You're just a perennial power. You just reload.
Now, you better recruit instead of, it's nice you're recruiting.
Yeah, no, let's go. Keep it rolling here. Let's turn into Villanova. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Neese Tire and Auto Service. Neese has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Neese Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Neese Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
8112.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
TGC 042221, CCC 049350.
It's back, the 14th annual Sea Quarters Marina Youth Fishing Tournament. The tournament will be taking place on Saturday, July 21st from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. The tournament will be free and open to all kids 16 and under. The first 125 kids registered will receive a free rod and reel, shirt, and visor. Trophies will be awarded to the first 3 places in each fishing category. All kids must attend a fishing clinic with a parent or guardian at the marina on Friday, July 20th at 6 p.m. You can register at Sea Quarters Marina, 501 St. James Avenue, Highway 98, Carabel, 697-8400.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
Tallahassee loves the corner pocket as much as a crystal ball winning catch.
He's looking, he lost it to the end zone. It's Benjamin! Touchdown! With 13 seconds left.
The 97.9 ESPN radio special is a must-have every Monday and Wednesday at the corner pocket. 10 mouth-watering wings, a fresh side of fries, and a chilled domestic pint of beer are just $9.79 all day long. Be sure and try the fish blend of sauces, a true wing eater's favorite. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill.
He's gone!
Home of Trivia Tuesday, Beer Bingo Thursday, and the daily $7.99 lunch special.
Today, business happens here, and virtually anywhere. Because today, innovative companies are reinventing the way business happens, and they need people who can keep up. with the expertise and technology to get packages to over 150 million delivery points. So, who can help you deliver the future of commerce? The United States Postal Service. See why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone at USPS.com/future.
Is your car's AC keeping you cool? With Tallahassee's summer season here to stay, stop in now to any auto and tire super service center and take advantage of their $69 AC recharge special. That's right. Visit any auto and tire super service center and recharge your car's AC for just $69, keeping you and your family cool all summer long. Visit any of their 5 auto and tire super service centers, locally owned and operated for nearly 40 years.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Time now for your Atlanta Braves Minute. Brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey. Personal injury law is all they do.
Tuesday night at SunTrust Park, the Braves fell to the Jays by a score of 6-2 in the first of their brief 2-game interleague series. Toronto got a run off Julio Teheran in the top of the third on a solo homer from Justin Smoak, but that's all Teheran would allow through 6 2/3, responsible for a run on 3 hits with 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Marcus Stroman also allowed 1 earned run through 7 innings of work with a pair of walks and 5 Ks. The Jays offense would go on to break things open with a 5-run top of the 8th off A.J. Minter and Shane Carl that featured RBI singles from Russell Martin and Kevin Pillar and RBI doubles from Aledmys Diaz and Devin Travis. Afterwards, Minter said it was just one of those nights.
You know, you can't worry about the bad performances. You know, you can only move forward, like I said, and it's going to happen. And, you know, I feel bad for Julio because he pitched a great game. And, you know, it's just, yeah, it's baseball.
With the loss, the Braves have now dropped 6 of their last 7 games, being outscored 43-23 over that span. Meanwhile, the series wraps up tonight as newly minted All-Star Mike Fulton-Nevich gets the nod for the Braves. Hear the call live from SunTrust Park right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're on live. ESPNTallahassee.com. So it's, according to the trending topics on Twitter there, Tom, it's 7-Eleven Day. And, you know, being today's 7-Eleven and all that. I bring that up because, you know, I don't normally care about those things like, you know, Cake Day or whatever. This is a different day all the time.
It's pigs in a blanket day,
Right,
Jeff.
right. Yeah, whatever that day is that everybody is celebrating oftentimes, I just, whatever. But as somebody who pretty much grew up in Florida, we all have a fondness in our heart for 7-Elevens.
We do, and I understand the reason why there aren't many or any in this immediate area.
Why?
As the story goes, there was some sort of legal entanglement.
I mean, we had the Swanee Swifty forever and the Sing forever and then the Piggly Wiggly and all that good stuff, or was it the Hoggy Woggly? I don't know. But no 7-Elevens.
There was, I think it was something to do with drinking and serving and stuff like that. It may be an urban legend. I thought you told me that, so I was actually teeing you up to actually hit the ball there.
No, I didn't tell you that. I always wondered. I've never known.
Okay,
I've never known. Somebody else told you.
I guarantee you that Tallahasseans will be responding.
Oh, they're about to respond in mass. They're going to tell us why.
That's not it at all.
No, I want to know because listen. It's a freaking convenience store. You're running in and running out. You get your gas. You get your Slurpee. You're doing whatever the hell you're doing. You're getting the beer, whatever. But I do have a certain fondness in my heart for 7-Eleven.
It was legendary in the summers of high school.
Big Gulp.
Yes. Well, I would get the big,
super big Gulp.
The big Powerade, of course. I would never get the competitor.
Right.
And I would get a big Mountain Dew Slurpee after we spent 2 or 3 hours playing pickup sports, be it football or hockey.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, you would just the dehydration. It didn't make sense.
Nobody ever loved Big Gulps more than my buddy Bill Logan. My God, that dude could drink. He could plow through 5 or 6 Big Gulps. It was ridiculous.
Really?
All the time I saw that guy with a Big Gulp in his hand. And really surprising, he was in great shape. You would have never guessed a guy drinking all of that sugar because he was drinking soda in those Big Gulps, not Gatorade. He was getting after it.
Yeah.
And, man, he'd finish one. He'd say, hey, pull over. I got to get another Big Gulp. Good God, sir.
I think Matthew would appreciate, Director Matthew, who is thankfully with us again.
Yeah, he almost died last hour.
I think he would appreciate the Big Gulp from 7-Eleven because he does usually have the 32-ounce full of soda every day.
Yeah, he's unhealthy. But it's I mean, think about that. I mean, that's just crazy. 7-Eleven's like, here, 64 ounces of sugar. Come on.
You remember?
Here you go.
The Big Gulp that fell on the board at the old place of employment?
Oh, buddy, that was a beautiful thing. Taking the board, the top off
one
the board.
thing you cannot do.
No, the very thing you cannot do. I actually thought Millar handled that well.
He did. He called me to vent because I was not there.
He was helping Scott out.
Yes.
Because that's a fireable offense.
Absolutely.
Well, you can't spill a Big Gulp on the board. I mean, that's a piece of equipment that is worth thousands and thousands of dollars.
And there are signs everywhere, and you just
no food and drink, no food and drink. No,
that's just to cover their butts because it just means be careful. Don't be an idiot. Don't be stupid.
And then, poof.
Right. And
can you imagine the moment that he saw that? You know, we've all dropped something that was of value.
Oh yeah.
Or dropped something that's going to stain and ruin something of value. And the worst is most of the time when that happens, it's after you've told yourself, all right, now. You know, because you fancy yourself an adult, so you say, well, I know I can't spill that coffee on this computer, or I can't spill this coffee on these white pants. That's not going to go well. I got to make sure, you know, whatever it is, you remind yourself, you got coffee, be careful. And then it's always a few minutes, damn it, I knew that was going to happen. That's always the familiar refrain from the person who's doing the spilling.
Well, it's also if you go to the restaurant and you want to act like an adult and you're stubborn, but you're eating spaghetti, right? You don't want to put the bib on,
right?
But you got the white button-down shirt.
And then invariably you get up, you're like, oh, look at that, there's a little spot. Damn it, how did that happen?
Right.
It leapt from my plate.
Even though you're being meticulous about every
Doesn't
single
matter. No chance.
swirl and bite.
No chance. Anyhow, it's 7-Eleven Day. Happy 7-Eleven Day, everybody.
So Millar said, well, I think somebody's fired. And I said, what? What did I do? Because he didn't say who. And he said, somebody spilled their soda all over the board. I said, what? He goes, and that's what he goes, yep, ice all over it, water's all over it.
I mean, way down in there, like into the crevices. And yes.
Just before, I think it was Tom Block was on the call for a baseball game. He said, I don't know how we're going to run the board. We're going to have to run it over in FLA or something.
I just remember that top panel coming off and like, look at that. Just
he said it started smoking
Started smoking, yeah. Yeah, the board is
like
smoking.
It was shorting out.
Well, this is a bit of a problem. We've spilled.
Coming up next.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I begin this hour not with talk of 7-Eleven as I just did, but rather concern for your well-being. I don't want to ruin the World Cup, so I'll start with ruining Wimbledon. If you don't want to know what happened, change the channel or turn me down, but Roger Federer's run is no more. It comes to an end after being up 2-0. He falls to Mr. Anderson in 5 sets, and the fifth being 13-11, a 4+ hour epic affair. And I know what a huge Fed fan you are. The devastation I could sense as we started the show, but I just get around to it now. You going to be all right tonight? I know you like to go back and watch these matches when they replay them, and I know you saw most of this one live. You're going to be able to tune in to the fateful downfall there of one Roger Federer?
Well, I'll be honest. I'm usually somebody who watches a Fed match wall-to-wall in the semis just because you can bank on him being there.
That's correct.
So he's up 2-0 today.
6-2, 7-6.
I hadn't watched a point. And I thought, okay, we're in business. So I'm doing some work, and then I go back and ESPN.com, pull it up, and it's now in the 4th set, and it's close. I go, oh, well, I better turn this on. And I ended up watching the match from the middle of the 4th set all the way to the bitter end at 13-11. And it was really tough. There was one moment of hope. And surrounding that moment of hope was just the realization that this guy out of South Africa was not going to be broken unless he was
6'8".
Yes, he found his serve. He was broken 3 times in the first 7 games by Federer. And after that, nothing. And he was... I mean, it wasn't just about placement. It was about pure velocity, 126 to 130 miles an hour a serve. And he had 11 aces to 2 over Federer in the 5th set. There was just nothing Roger could do with him.
Very reminiscent of a performance from Goran Ivanisevic. Do you remember the name back in the day?
Ivanisevic? No, probably. I would think he's like a San Jose Shark or something.
And Goran was this kind of player, very, very tall. Todd Martin, you remember him?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Those kinds of players that have an attribute in their game that can beat the world's best on a given day. They don't feature the total game to consistently dominate and win tournaments and be a perennial power in any given tournament, but the kind of skill set as a server that you say, if this is working, if they're on their serve, they can beat anybody on a given day, and that's what happened today with Kevin Anderson.
Well, and his ground game was exceptional as well. Roger would engage him as he was returning in a couple of not lengthy volleys. That never happens in the men's sport anymore. But
much to my chagrin.
He would continually put Roger in a defensive mode where it's just weak backhand to the middle of the court, and then Anderson tees off and Roger has to go chase it down. And it was just, it seemed inevitable except for one brief moment where Federer he's down love 15 serving at 3-3 in the 5th. And he loses the next point, and you think, oh, here comes the break, and this is the moment he loses right here, right now. And he smiles to himself like he figured something out, or he said, blanket. And he ends up rattling off 4 perfect serves, wins the game, and you think, here we go. Anderson falters to love 30, and then he ends up winning his own point back. That was it. That was the only time.
I love when you're a fan of, and I'll say this, when you're a fan, tennis, and this is a greater subject, there are sports that we engage in and love and invest in emotionally and otherwise, and we have our favorites. It could be team sport or individual sport that hit you more dramatically than others, and ones that kind of really set you on edge. I can watch my favorite football team lose a close game and not suffer in the same way that you do a closer blowing the game in the 9th. Not suffer the way you do in the waning seconds of a Florida State basketball game. But tennis is right up there in terms of the agonizing that it allows for between points, between games, the tension, the elevation of said tension. I've noted on this show numerous times, given my age group, I'm probably in line with a lot of people listening to this program. In my era, you grew up and you were a McEnroe fan or a Borg fan or a Connors fan. There was a group of about 4 or 5 that you were a fan of. And if those guys were in that window, or when they were in that window playing these epic 5-set matches at a place like Wimbledon or the French Open or the U.S. Open or the Australian, whatever it was, man, you really suffer. You suffered more back in the day when rallies were a thing. You really did.
Yes.
It was unbelievable. You hung on every stroke. And you would see, I mean, I can remember 5-set matches, again, lasting well over 5 hours. Not that they don't happen now, but solely because of the length of certain volleys. It was insane.
This one went over 4, and this guy Anderson kicked up the paint an awful lot. And it felt, I experienced this much differently than somebody watched it beginning to end, because Roger did, around hour 2 of the match, have a match point. And he failed in that moment, and then it completely changes. I come in to this match where it looks like Roger's on the ropes. And you could even hear it in the announcer's voice. Patrick McEnroe was calling it.
He's great.
And he was saying, man, he's been on the defensive for the better part of 45 minutes now. So I experienced it in a different time.
You were seeing it when it had already shifted.
Right, and he was not the better player. It was, how is he going to pull this out of his you-know-what in order to get onto the semis?
As the great ones find ways to do.
And it was close a couple of times, but, I mean, more often than not, he could win service. He could hold serve at 40-love, but there would at least be 2 or 3 or 4 returns. Whereas the other way, it's 1 return and done. That's how good this serve was and the ground game was from Anderson today.
He's all-time great. Might that be the last of the Wimbledon opportunities for Roger Federer? I would say it would seem to be true given his age and so forth. But then again, here is a guy who, oh, by the way, was counted out 5 years ago and has continued to win and do the improbable. Now you get set up with a potential of either Nadal winning another one or Djokovic, who has found his form again. They play, unfortunately for all of us, each other in the semis. I'd rather them be on opposite sides of the bracket. But it'll be interesting to see then as we get built up towards the other majors and we move on from there.
It's a bummer. I'll watch Nadal, Joker, and then I won't watch the final because I won't root for either of those two in the final.
Well, you don't have a disdain for either one of those players, do you?
I don't like Joker. No.
I don't have a problem with either one of them, really. I mean, they're both all-time great.
And I don't want Rafa to catch Fed.
Well, he's not going to catch him. And besides...
He's within shouting distance.
He's not going to catch him. But I would also say this. If someday Nadal were to catch Federer, and it's very unlikely, given their style of play, it's definitely unlikely, you would still view Federer as the greater player. I don't have the same sort of reverence towards players who've won 27 times on one surface and 4 on others. You know, I'm exaggerating for the purposes of the point, but great, you've got 15 French titles and a Wimbledon. You know what I mean? It's not the same thing. I like the guy that shows me form over cross surfaces. It's one of the things that frustrates me the most about McEnroe not having won that French because Lendl came back from 2-0 to beat him.
Right, yeah. Jack won 6 Masters, but he had 12 other majors.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, that's Tiger Woods has won all the majors.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. I mean, if you can do that and you show your skill across surfaces and disciplines, then that's doing some things, and it also requires different styles.
Well, and that's the next step for Brooks, isn't it? You know, he's got two
back-to-back U.S. Open titles.
They were very different types of U.S. Opens.
He's also born to win the British.
But they favored bombers, both those courses, in terms of length. So if he can win something that's a little bit shorter, the British is a great example because it's not necessarily about bombing the ball, it's about placement.
Yeah, but I would say that this U.S. Open was different than his previous U.S. Open win. I mean, the one 2 years ago. This one did require a little bit more deft.
Well, I think it did in both instances, but just from, you're talking about legacy and reputation.
Yeah, no, and I think if you're going to talk about Brooks Koepka, Florida State's own Brooks Koepka, now 2-time major winner, back-to-back U.S. Open championships, I think if you're ever going to predict another one for him, you're going to predict the British Open, which, because he's a guy that cut his teeth over in Europe and learned how to be tough. And that got him set for obvious, and he was already tough, but it made him tougher going to a place where you're not at home, you're not in your backyard, you're dealing with weather conditions that are completely adverse, different styles of courses, the winds, all of that stuff. As he once said, you're homesick, you're eating food you don't like, you don't know where you are 1 second to the next. You either, it's smoke or get smoked, figure it out. And he did, figured it out, made him tougher, and he's thankful for it. I love those kinds of stories where it could have gone either way, and they just decided, nope, I'm going to steel my back to this thing here, and we're going to make it happen. We're going to figure it out. Those kinds of players, I think he's projected to do that. By the way, we're about to have, you're about to be over there at the time that it's being played, and we will be off next week. We won't have that opportunity to kind of talk about the British Open, but I'm for one pretty bummed.
Yeah, you can have the field, and I'll take Brooks and Tommy Fleetwood, and those are the only two that can win, and I win the bet.
Well, you just chose two guys that were the talk of the U.S. Open on the final day for sure, as Tommy Fleetwood shot a 63.
The hunger factor for Fleetwood, too. He has a complete game about him, but it's also you got to close the deal. Brooks is made for that type of golf course. But, I mean, that's still, for me, that's a 1 in whatever chance, 1 in 20, 1 in 25 chance.
Yeah, no, I'll take the field for sure. I'll definitely take the field. I actually think, oddly enough, Tiger's got a decent chance to be in that thing on a Sunday.
If the putter comes to life, and those greens aren't dynamic, I mean, those are
just wide the hell open. You know, maybe it's freeing. You know, and he's made a lot of 20-footers. He just hasn't made 10-footed in.
It can be wide open. Some places you really need to hit a 4-iron and place it.
Which, if he's going to play the stinger, he could run away with it.
Right, and the greens are slower, and there's not as much undulation.
Yeah, could be fun. A lot of fun. Let's talk some Florida State football. We'll keep coming back to that because it's fun. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
You're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find a store already. Grab some dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs. And put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the do.
We know you can't make the perfect s'more until you've burnt a few marshmallows. We know the great outdoors. We love the great outdoors. Make this summer last during Family Summer Camp at Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Plus, get great deals on great gear during our summer sale, like select men's short sleeve shirts for under $15 and a 120-quart Igloo cooler for under $50. Go online to learn more. Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
Hi, Chris Kraft asking for your help in raising money for the Big Bend Hospice. Big Bend Hospice needs a specially equipped high-top transport van for wheelchair and stretcher patients, and Kraft Nissan has committed to donating $15,000. But Tallahassee, we need your help. For every new Nissan sold now through July 31st, Kraft Nissan will contribute $100. Plus, we will match your personal check of up to $100 made out to the Big Bend Hospice should you choose to donate. That's up to $300 per new Nissan sold. You've heard of hospice, but until you have that personal experience, you have no idea of the depth of care and compassion that the Big Bend Hospice provides to all of us at no charge. Hospice is caring when there is no cure. Hospice helps families heal, and you can count on hospice to be there for you. And if you're in the market for a new car, not only are the deals unbeatable, and Kraft Nissan has 0% interest for 60 months on every new Nissan, but you're helping a local, invaluable community partner. So won't you please join Kraft Nissan and partner with us to help the Big Bend Hospice this month. One day you'll need them, and right now hospice needs us, Tallahassee. Let's make this high-top transport van a reality together. Kraft Nissan on Mahan Drive.
It's that time again. HealthSource Chiropractic is once again sponsoring the Penalty Box for your Tallahassee Roller Girls as they take on the Dixie Roller Girls this Saturday, July 14th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30 so you can snag great seats and get up close and personal with the hard-hitting action. I'm Dr. Rob with HealthSource Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of the Tallahassee Roller Girls. Come see me this week before the bout and you can get free tickets. Call me today at 877-8980. And remember, don't settle for treatment. Let HealthSource care for you.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. I say football, but let me at least note Florida State baseball, if for just a second. Congratulations to Coach Bell. Got to be happy for him, right?
Yes, absolutely. Mike Bell getting a head man's job, and that's something he's been looking to grab, has been the rumor around the program for a couple of years.
A former player here, and had been out to the College World Series, and a guy who had gone off to do great things at Oklahoma and eventually find his way back here. But he's a guy who is super down to earth, loves Florida State, and has always been nothing but a pro's pro. Really good to deal with. I congratulate him and wish him the best as he goes on now and takes over at Pitt. It's interesting. He said about it, I'm reading from warchant.com's article now, talking about getting this job. He got congratulatory notes from players and teammates and coaches that he's worked with and competed against over the years, and even buddies that he played with in the minor leagues. Quote, "It was flattering. I've always been a pretty quiet and humble guy. To see the former players and coaches reach out like that, even coaches I crossed paths with from the professional side to the collegiate side, it's been neat. Reading through them all, it's like going through down memory lane. It brought back a lot of smiles and a lot of laughs." So, I imagine it's got to be tough. He's had to, he's been a finalist before. He's had things where he's come close and it didn't happen, and this time around it does happen. But, having to go to Mike Martin Jr. and say that, he said, was very difficult, but also that Martin's reaction, both of them, that they were thrilled for him and very, very happy for him. But does put Florida State in an interesting position.
Yeah, because depending upon who you talk to, it was Meat and Mike Bell that did the bulk of the recruiting, and now Bell is gone, and you might have an open coaching search at the end of the next season. So who wants to come here, potentially for just 1 year, and how the hell do you recruit? How do you recruit?
Well, it's the first thing I thought of beyond the fact that I was happy for Mike Bell was I thought, okay, so what are you telling recruits? We do know, at least there is some clarity as to what is going on with the head man, the legend that is Coach Martin. We do know this is his last year forthcoming, period. End of story, done talking about it. That was wildly speculated about for the last several years. So now we know that is done. But as to who's replacing him for certain, we don't know. We just know they're in the midst of a quote-unquote national coaching search. Now, most believe, or I think a larger percentage of people believe than don't, that the next head coach is also on the staff, and that is Mike Martin Jr., and that this search will reveal that. But that the search is necessary, and it's something that Jr. has publicly embraced and said, fine, because I've wanted nothing but a fair opportunity to compete for the job. I think my resume will carry the day. I'll tell you one of the reasons I believe that, beyond the fact that he was a player here and a good one, and he's been doing the bulk of the duties of that coaching staff in terms of recruiting and coaching for some time now. I believe it because I don't think there's any other name out there commiserate to a program stature like this, right, where you would look at Oregon State's head coach or Texas Tech's head coach or, another great program. I hesitate to say Texas Tech is a great program, but they've got a very good coach. Vandy, you name the different places where some guys are really getting paid large sums of money and are high-profile guys. Florida, these kinds of places. Obviously, we're not going to hire O'Sullivan, but I'm just saying big names in the sport. The thought was, hey, they got to open it up because this is Florida State. It is one of the elite programs in college baseball history. Open it up, and let's see who inquires. Let's just see if a huge name in the business that's had bona fide success as a head coach, as a manager, would say, I want to go to Florida State, tell his agent, put my name in the hat. Then maybe Mike Martin Jr. doesn't get it. But if that doesn't happen, it's his. So, it does still leave you in limbo not knowing that, but I imagine early in that process it would be revealed.
I think he's the coach. I mean,
I do
because
too.
who would come here for the price? I mean, like, what price are we willing to pay?
Well, that's the other question I don't know the answer to, because all across baseball, this is a point of contention now, or certainly it's something of note. The other programs that we talk about fairly regularly every year that are amongst the nation's elite are actually paying their coaches, in some cases, more than $1 million a year. And I don't think Florida State's anywhere close to doing that.
Yeah, so you're going to take less money to come to a better recruiting ground with more tradition for a program, but facilities that are behind the times. That's what a free agent, top-of-the-line coach would have to decide. Yes on. I'm going to take less dollars.
Or I will inquire about the job. Given my resume, they'll be interested, and I'll say, I'll come if, and you ask for those changes and see where the university's at with that.
We seem to be cash-strapped at the moment, though, so I don't know that we're willing to commit that much money. I get it. We just put a scoreboard there, but that's a scoreboard. There's a lot of stuff that we need to do right now. One of them is the football-only facility.
Right. If you're speculating, the truth is you're going to say, for multiple reasons, but let's just use financial for starters, Mike Martin Jr. will be the next head coach at Florida State. If you're speculating, they can save money. And again, I'm not trying to be in any way, derisive. I'm saying that's the way they would view it if you're viewing it financially. Is, hey,
yes,
we can get our guy. He's never been a head coach. He's been here forever. He's played here. He loves the institution. He wants this opportunity. We can get him, because he's an unproven head coach, for a lot less than we can a guy that's been a head coach at another major institution and taken them to College World Series. So we'll pay him. And he's been really good at what he's done, which is very important. We can pay him whatever they're going to pay him. I don't know, less than the big-time money we see going to these other head coaches, $500,000, $600,000, whatever it is. So they'll give him that, and he'll get it, and it's almost a trial balloon, because you could say, all right, you got a couple years here to see how it's going. If we don't like where it's going in 2 years, we're gonna move on.
I can't imagine that it would be all that different. But when you sit in the head coach's chair, maybe things do change. But to me,
I think they do.
Yeah, but to me, it seems day-to-day wise, this is already Mike Martin Jr.'s program and has been for some time.
It has been, yet he's been handcuffed in a lot of ways. And this is always a very uncomfortable conversation. Yeah, but now he's going to be tasked with finding a pitching coach, which he may have wanted to do anyhow. I don't know. I don't know what his plans would have been. Let's just assume he gets it, okay, for the purposes of this conversation. I don't know that Mike Bell would have been on. Maybe. For all we know, he's got plans in place. He's been thinking maybe for years, I want to do this. I want to get this guy. Here's a guy whose philosophy is in line with mine.
Yeah.
I want to grab him. I want to go here. Who knows?
Well, I would think recruiting would get better. It just it depends when you have to start delegating things off. How good is he at that? That's the number one concern I would have, is you just don't know how he would be at that particular end of the job. But right now, it seems to me, in ways that it's described about recruiting and the command he has over everybody in the lineup, and he knows all their stories and player relations, it seems to me that for the bulk of the responsibilities, it's been his program for a long time. And I think the results you've seen.
Well, no, I don't think that's up for debate. It's not even a guess. That's true.
Well, that's a hell of a resume, though, isn't it?
I agree. That's why I think he's getting the job.
Yeah.
But I also know there's a contingent and some powerful people that are against that. And so they open up the search, and we'll go from there.
Do they not think it's his program or that he has had a huge hand in what's gone on the last few years?
I think their beliefs are some of it's political, some of it's an antiquated look at what happened with Coach Bowden and his son and Jeff. I think the hangover from that.
That would be a fundamental lack of understanding or ignorance of this situation.
That is correct.
If you're going to play a political card and not even know what the hell you're talking about.
Well, that goes on all the time in politics.
That's true.
So, yes, I think absolutely that's part of it. That's not everybody. There are people who would maybe bring up legitimate concerns. I'm not saying he's a perfect candidate.
No, and for me, again, the number one concern would be, all right, now you got to hand off some of these responsibilities and you've got to devise your own battle plan. And in key moments, I'm not sure in the seventh inning if somebody has to make a big decision that, that's meets call if it's 11s, probably 11s. So how do you handle those moments when it's just you and you make the final call? Those are differences in the existence his day-to-day existence than he has it right now.
I think that a lot of people have thought for some time that those calls could be improved, so they're ready for somebody else to make that call. That it can't be much worse.
Sure.
Yeah. There are people who would say that. Certainly, we saw evidence of that in the final game of the season.
Oh, buddy. I had successfully forgotten that.
Do you want to play that one last time as we get a break? You certainly can.
Ball speed, high in the air, deep to left field. A walk-off for the Bulldogs. They stay alive in Tallahassee.
Damn it! We lost. We fucking super lost, man.
God damn it! What is he doing? That shit is smoking!
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Shirts for under $15 and a 120-quart Igloo cooler for under $50. Go online to learn more. Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
And we're back with another edition of Spring Cleaning. Today, we want to know how you save energy, water, and money during the warmer season. Caller, you're on the air. What do you do to save energy?
With the warmer temperature, I know my AC is working overtime, so I make sure to replace my AC filter once a month.
Excellent suggestion. Next caller, you're on the air.
Well, the city of Tallahassee recommends that I take advantage of their grants and loans to get more insulation in my attic. That's really going to keep my cooling costs down.
These are some great suggestions. There are lots of ways to save. Caller, you're on the air.
I reduce energy for water heating by lowering my water heater temperature and installing low-flow shower heads.
We have time for one more caller. What do you have for us?
I make sure to use my programmable thermostat to regulate the temperature in my home when I'm away.
Thank you, caller. That's all the time we have today.
The City of Tallahassee Utilities would like to help you save as much energy as you can and save money while you're at it. Visit talgov.com for more information and start saving energy today.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Yo, this is your cup holder talking. You know me, the little round thing between your car seats. Now, listen, we need to talk. Now, I normally have a nice cold bottle of Mountain Dew in me, but at the moment, I'm empty. That's right, no Mountain Dew. Nothing in here but a couple of quarters and a dime. A fully capable cup holder like me just carrying your loose change, it's embarrassing. Look, I'm not made for loose change. I'm round like a bottle of Mountain Dew. Glistening, cold, and delicious. I'm made to keep Mountain Dew within reach at all times, so you're never far from that incredible bold citrus kick whenever you need it. Just inches from your hand. So find the store already. Grab some Dew, toss it back, then place that bottle where it belongs, and put that loose change back in your pocket. Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Bob Sullivan founded Bob's Auto and Collision Center with the goal of providing honest repair estimates, fair pricing, and fast service. 35 years later, he's done just that and has made Bob's Auto #1 with FSU students and Tallahassee. His daughters, Misty and Melissa, have now taken the wheel and are still providing the best car care and collision service in town. Coming soon, Bob's Auto and Collision Center is moving to Lake Bradford Road. Stay tuned for details.
Results may vary, not a solicitation for legal services. If you owe the IRS back taxes, payroll taxes, or have not filed your returns, the IRS will get you. They can take your property, take you to court, even put you in jail. With one call to Wall, you'll never need to talk to the IRS again. Our average client settles for about 10% of what is owed. We offer free face-to-face consultations in your local area. Call 800-727-0433. That's 800-727-0433.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Definitely make sure you go and visit my friends at Cornerstone Tool and Fastener. That's an intriguing evaluation of fan bases from the Gainesville Suns' Pat Dooley, saying that he thinks the two most spoiled fan bases in the SEC are Alabama, obviously, and the University of Florida. Maybe way back when Florida was good.
Not spoiled of much offense in the last 10 years.
They're not spoiled of much, period. It's been some time. We got to go back nearly a decade to where you could say they were spoiled, and maybe more. Maybe you would think they were feeling spoiled in 06 through 09. Even that did feature a 4-loss team in 07. But, okay, so that stretch of 2 national championships and a bunch of 1-loss seasons.
And then the birth of Saban's Alabama at the tail end of it, yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the end of that. But from there, there's been 5-loss, 6-loss, 2-loss, 8-loss, 5-loss, 4-loss, 4-loss, 7-loss. It's a whole lot of suck.
Maybe it's all those SEC East titles, man. That's you get spoiled with division titles.
For it is true, perhaps the McElwain era is what you're saying spoiled them?
Those are major accomplishments.
Somebody, I don't remember who it was, got mad at me when I ripped McElwain. It was a Florida fan, and I had said this is about the best they could hope for, and it was the 10-4 season. They're like, the man just won 10 games. He's obviously got it going. Lasted a long time, didn't he? Whopping 3 seasons.
Unfortunately, they made the right move to at least get the wheel going here. You know, if Mullen's not right,
I
make
wanted
the change
him to.
in a couple.
I needed him to wait another year. Just let it all come off the tracks.
Then again,
yeah, I know.
If they did wait one more year, then you're staring right at Lane Kiffin. it may have just worked out nicely that Mullen has to be there for at least 2 seasons, and Lane might take the other gigs.
4-7 last year. Spoiled.
West Coast for Lano.
He may get that opportunity because that is another fan base that is looking at their current head coach at Southern Cal going, how about your sorry ass?
If you were LSU, wouldn't you call on Lane Kiffin? It's the opposite of everything you've been for a little while, but it's a splash hire, and you are in desperate need of a splash hire.
The only thing is, we conveniently forget because he can be charming. He is certainly media savvy. He is at times funny. He is certainly not, his acumen for the game is not wanting. But we can get influenced in judging Lane Kiffin on those qualities solely and forget about what a weasel, backstabbing, hypocrite, and coward at times he's been in his career. And that's, there are enough people on the other side that have worked with him that will tell you, no, you don't want to hire him, that's not a real good guy, and that's not a guy that you can trust, more importantly. I don't know Lane Kiffin personally. These aren't my accusations, but I've read enough from those that have, and we've seen the evidence that maybe he isn't. I mean, you think the folks at Tennessee like Lane Kiffin?
Probably not, but I would think that if you are LSU specifically, that he has all the motivation in the world to be a good soldier for you because he has a chance at Saban.
And there's a great chance that he's learned, he's grown up, he's turned his ways around, that he's figured out that those were mistakes and missteps that he made in his youth and that he wouldn't do it that way anymore. I agree with that. It's just, man, there's been a lot of second and third chances for that guy. There's no doubting his knowledge.
And his ability to recruit, I would think, also. Offensive players, I mean, LSU's had an influx of receivers forever and a day. They don't do anything with them. But quarterback play has been lacking. And if you're trying to account for what you haven't had for a long time, it just occurred to me when we were talking about coaching changes that seems like the right timing. I don't know that he'd care to live in Baton Rouge, but they've been dying for a splash hire. They tried to get Jimbo a couple of years, whiffed on those. Coach O is not long for this world.
I don't believe so. I didn't think so when they hired him.
And, I mean, who's a better guy to pit against Saban? Somebody who, have very publicly had problems with Nick in their day-to-day operation. Perfect.
He seems to have problems with everybody that he works with, is all I'm saying.
He does, but you would get a motivated, it's like the guy in the contract here. You would get a motivated Lane Kiffin.
Very motivated. And, listen, I think if you're a program that needs to switch gears in a drastic way and yet you still want a guy whose football knowledge is unquestioned and his ability to recruit at a place that you absolutely have to be able to recruit, the SEC West, you'd give him a look. I mean, there's no doubt. I don't know who the other candidates would be at that time, so you're always going to look into that. People love to throw around like Chris Peterson, right? Every time there's a job opening, well, what about Chris Peterson? My man was at Boise and now Washington. You don't know that Chris Peterson can come to the SEC and get players. Now, he can coach. There's no doubt he can coach, but could he get players?
I would wonder if it's going quite well in Washington.
Oh, he's done a good job. There's no question in his ability to coach.
Would you take the USC gig if it opened up? If you're building something nice at Washington, it gives you the same access to the same playoff, and you made it. You've already proven that you can make it to the playoffs.
Well, yeah, but I don't think it gives you the same access to the same players. I think you can win at Washington and win the occasional Pac-12 title, but if both programs are operating again at peak efficiency, Washington isn't outdoing Southern Cal.
I was saying the same access to the same playoff. It's the same path to the postseason.
Well, okay, I'm sorry. You asked about whether or not he'd go to USC. You can't, and I would argue the next step in the same access, I thought you were going to say players.
Yeah.
So I spoke too soon. You get better players at USC if you got it rolling. No doubt. I mean, California, forget about it.
Yeah, but all of it, it's like the Texas thing. There's something to it. Pete Carroll had it down, but it took some serious corner cutting to get it done.
But way back in the day, going all the way back to McKay, they won and won huge, and Robinson won there. They've had, obviously Carroll won there. There's a series of coaches at almost every decade that have won. It's not true at Washington. That's a unique program. I like Washington a lot, and they've added so much to their facilities. There may not be a more beautiful campus that I've ever attended besides Virginia, the blinding beauty of Charlottesville, where I'll be in a couple of days. But that is it's Washington. You can win at Washington, but you need USC to be down. That's the way to say it. You need them to be,
unless you're Chris Peterson.
But Southern Cal's kind of down. They're not a great program right now.
They just had a quarterback go in the top 5 of the draft.
And didn't win a damn thing.
I mean, come on. What in the hell if I'm a Trojans fan?
Yeah, and USC is weird to me. I've said this for years. I again, don't know why UCLA can't compete with USC.
It's not that much to ask at this point.
It's not. They're right there.
It would be like Florida saying, why can't we compete with Florida State on the same field? They just lost 6 games, and we look like we're playing in a different division.
I find it odd. And the people out there would be able to tell you specific reasons why that doesn't work. I don't know if it's academic. I don't know what it is. But if you go, okay, so Clay Helton right now, his time at Southern Cal is 8-6, 10-3, 11-3. They did win a Rose Bowl, that incredible game against Penn State, right? Wasn't that the game? But that was after a 3-loss season. So they did get there and they did win that, but they had 3 losses. So they haven't been a dominant team is what I'm saying. And so again, they lost 6 games in that combo year with Sarkisian turned out to be a drunk and had some issues. And I can't put all that on Clay, but
I mean, if you have a generational talent at the position, and whether or not you believe that he'll be a good pro, Darnold did grade out as a top 5 pick in the NFL draft.
By the way, you brought up Pete Carroll. Let's do this for giggles. This is the Pete Carroll run. He takes over for the oft-forgot, and rightfully so, sorry-ass Paul Hackett. You remember Paul Hackett?
Barely.
Okay. Well, here's why you don't. 6-6, 5-7, 6-6. Paul Hackett gets told to have a good one. Pete Carroll takes over and goes 6-6, and everybody's like, "Oh, great, same guy." 11-2, 12-1, 11-0. Then they get the 2005 season is scratched from the record book or whatever that is because of the cheating. But I think it ended in a Rose Bowl loss to Texas, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. So national championship game. So it's 11-2, 12-1, 11-0. Whatever they were that year, they were undefeated. I think that year before they lost that game.
Oh yes, that was the
greatest team of all time.
How would they fare against 99 Florida State?
Right.
0-1 Miami.
Oh, later on, how would they fare against Super Bowl champions? Remember that? It was ridiculous. Yeah, they would go on and on and on with that. But then 11-2, and they won the Rose. 11-2, they won the Rose. 12-1, they won the Rose. I mean, homeboy, 12 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins, 11, 12, 12. I mean, Pete was doing some things.
Yes, he was.
Now, from there, Lane, first year goes 8-5. Second year goes 10-2. Then goes 7-6. Then it's this weird combination where all 3 guys, it's Lane gone halfway through, Ed Orgeron. Remember Ed Orgeron?
Yes, he was out there.
He's always the guy. Well, just get old Ed to do it.
They call him Interim Ed.
So it's Interim Ed and Clay, and then it's Steve Sarkisian. They pass over Clay Helton. They're like, let's get Sark in here. He comes in, and he goes 9-4, and then he proceeds to go 8-6, and then they find out he's in the bag. So they're like, well, all right, Clay, it's your time to shine. And Clay's gone.
Ed O is spoken for, so we got to go with Clay here.
So they've got to be frustrated out there, and I just they haven't been in a good place. It's let's see, 6-4, 4-6, 3-3.
No, and there's something about it's almost like the Auburn situation. Like Auburn has teased a title here and there. Since
they won
obviously
one
the
with
13,
Cam, and
but since 13, all right. So they get to the title game. That was a little bit of smoke and mirrors. Last year, that was a really good club. That just
Well, they have Georgia beat.
They do have Georgia beat in the SEC title game.
Yeah, they punched that in. We're talking about a different thing.
But
not that they're.
That was one of their 4 losses. But it just seems like there's in the administration maybe kind of a holdup. Maybe it's Pat Dye's influence. USC, there just seems to be a lot of clutter. Texas is the same way. It's hard to put your finger on exactly how, but I know there's clutter involved in that job, which is why if Peterson's got a good thing going, he's got a line of succession in quarterback play for the next 2 to 3 seasons with recruits on the way. Do you really want to leave Washington? I mean, you got a good thing going there. and you might be the class of the Pac-12 for the next 5 seasons.
Well, I hope he stays because I root for Washington out of the Pac-12 to do well, just like I root for Stanford to do well in that conference, and I don't care anything about Southern Cal. So personally, that's fine if he does. But the more prestigious job and the access to better players is at Southern Cal. So we'll see what he decides if that happens. I don't know that he's a good fit there for a variety of reasons, but it is interesting. You know, my question was about UCLA and why it is they just do not compete with Southern Cal. And, you know, I have always put them, I thought, and rightfully so, firmly entrenched under, as the people know it now, the tent of suspicion. For a long time, that tent included Wisconsin. I'm beginning to back off that. Wisconsin has been quite consistent and good out of the Big Ten.
The blinding boredom of Paul Chryst
yes.
and his media availabilities.
But they're good. They're better than UCLA. They get the big boy chair under the tent of suspicion.
Paul Chryst is the guy at the bar where you say, "How you doing, Paul?" And he goes, "Well, let me tell you."
Oh, Jesus.
Well, not only is he going to tell me everything that I don't care about.
Everything.
He's also a terrible storyteller.
Right.
So this is going to be boring as hell.
So the anecdotes are not going to be good. And
I'm watching SC6 and over this stuff.
Okay, let's see here. Is that right? Look at that.
And then
Looks
on
like
Tuesday.
LeBron is practicing again. So, by the way, to really get a sense, since we went all Pac-12 this segment for some reason, to really get a sense of what I'm talking about, why I just can't. You remember Bob Toledo?
No, I don't. That sounds like a super agent.
So I can remember the very long era of Terry Donahue. You cannot. Before Terry Donahue, I might note, Tom Lang, that, and this is before my time, I was a wee lad when it occurred, but Dick Vermeil was the head coach at UCLA way back when.
Was he really?
Yeah, for 2 seasons.
Oh.
He actually won the Rose Bowl, went 9-2-1 in his second year.
Did he really? Dick Vermeil?
Oh, Dick Vermeil's the coach
the
of
Rose
Jesse.
Bowl.
Huh? Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. So then here you go. Terry Donahue was there, and that's all I ever remembered of UCLA football. He was there when I was a little kid. He was there when I was graduating high school. He was there when I was going to college. He was there after I finished college. Terry Donahue was there from 76 through 95. It's a long damn time.
Holy cow.
Terry Donahue, by the way, won 2. I just looked it up now. I think 3. No, he won 2 Rose Bowl. He played in 4, played in 5. So 2 and 3 in his Rose Bowl appearances. But he had some seasons in there: 10-1 one year, 10-2 one year. To be sure, he also had an 0-11 there early on. But he had some, that's a toughie. But he had some, seasons decent enough to carry over to allow him to then have 5-6, 6-5, 5-6, 6-5. Here we go on the UCLA train. Now, start with Bob Toledo. 5-6, 10-2, 10-2. Won a Cotton Bowl. What are we doing? Oh, we're going 4-7. 4-7, 6-6, 7-4, 8-5. Have a good one, Bob Toledo.
It's the best name ever.
Here comes Carl Durrell. You remember him?
No.
He was in the 2000s. You don't remember Carl
Durrell?
Durrell. Yes.
Oh, okay, Durrell.
2003 to 2007. You don't remember Carl?
No.
They've had some winners. Bob Toledo and Carl. This is good.
Old Carl Durrell.
Yeah. All right. So here you go. Here's Carl. 6-7, 6-6, 10-2. What happened there? Well, they won the Sun Bowl. Then they lose, and they go 7-6, and then they lose in the Las Vegas Bowl after a 6-7 season. Thanks for playing, Carl Durrell. You're gone. Welcome in Rick Neuheisel, who I've worked with.
Yeah.
Old Rick, by the way. Not good. 4-8, 7-6, 4-8, 6-8. Goodbye, Rick Neuheisel. Gone. Now, finishes his career at UCLA as a head man at 21-30.
Woo! Can play a mean guitar, though.
All right. Sorry-ass Jim Mora Jr. comes in. UCLA. Here we go. 9-5, 10-3, 10-3. What's going on with Jim Mora? Good on you. Went in with Rick Neuheisel players. Okay, I'm checking out. We're losing in the Foster Farms Bowl, and I'm going 8-5, 4-8, 6-7, finishing with a loss in the Cactus Bowl, and he's fired. Thanks for playing Jim Mora. So I took you all the way back, much to the chagrin of our listeners,
to Vermeil
in the early 70s. But I named, what, in total, 4 good seasons since the 70s for UCLA?
No one can dispute these facts.
We're done with this. Stop talking. But now, here we're going to talk about them because Kelly's there, and What does the Kelly era hold? Well, if history tells us he's going to have a good season or two, then we're going to lose in the Cactus Bowl and the Foster Farms Bowl, and it's time to hire some other dude, hopefully by the name of Jerry, because that would cap it all off. We'd have a Carl and a Jim and a Rick and a Bob.
Bob Toledo.
You don't remember Bob Toledo?
No.
I can't believe you don't remember Bob Toledo.
That's an all-time hotel alias.
I just think that's really good. I don't.
Jeff Cameron's room. I'm sorry, he's not staying with us. Bob Toledo. Oh, sure. Hang on one second.
Bob Toledo he last coached. He was the OC at San Diego State in 2013. Go get him, Bob.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
$189 value for free. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener with 2 locations to choose from. 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway.
Bob Sullivan founded Bob's Auto and Collision Center with the goal of providing honest repair estimates, fair pricing, and fast service. 35 years later, he's done just that and has made Bob's Auto #1 with FSU students and Tallahassee. His daughters, Misty and Melissa, have now taken the wheel and are still providing the best car care and collision service in town. Coming soon, Bob's Auto and Collision Center is moving to Lake Bradford Road. Stay tuned for details.
We know you can't make the perfect s'more until you've burnt a few marshmallows. We know the great outdoors. We love the great outdoors. Make this summer last during Family Summer Camp at Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Plus, get great deals on great gear during our summer sale, like select men's short sleeve shirts for under $15 and a 120-quart Igloo cooler for under $50. Go online to learn more. Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee. Time now for your Atlanta Braves Minute, brought to you by Fonville, Lewis, Messer, and McConaughey. Personal injury law is all they do.
Tuesday night at SunTrust Park, the Braves fell to the Jays by a score of 6-2 in the first of their brief 2-game interleague series. Toronto got a run off Julio Teheran in the top of the third on a solo homer from Justin Smoke, but that's all Teheran would allow through 6 2/3, responsible for a run on 3 hits with 3 walks and 5 strikeouts. Meanwhile, Marcus Stroman also allowed 1 earned run through 7 innings of work with a pair of walks and 5 Ks. The Jays offense would go on to break things open with a 5-run top of the 8th off A.J. Minter and Shane Carl that featured RBI singles from Russell Martin and Kevin Pillar and RBI doubles from Aledmys Diaz and Devin Travis. Afterwards, Minter said it was just one of those nights.
You know, you can't worry about the bad performances. You know, you can only move forward, like I said, and it's going to happen. And, you know, I feel bad for Julio because he pitched a great game. And, you know, it's just, yeah, it's baseball.
With the loss, the Braves have now dropped 6 of their last 7 games, being outscored 43-23 over that span. Meanwhile, the series wraps up tonight as newly minted All-Star Mike Fulton-Nevich gets the nod for the Braves. Hear the call live from SunTrust Park right here on the Braves Radio Network. First pitch is set for 7:35 p.m. Eastern. With the Braves, I'm Kevin McAlpin for the Atlanta Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey sponsors Braves baseball so that all of you can enjoy the action. Ever since the days of Hank Aaron and Dale Murphy, we've been Tallahassee's home run hitting law firm. And because we don't get paid unless we win, we want to win every case as much as Chipper Jones wanted to win every game. So when you're injured, don't just trust any law firm to handle your case. Make the call to the bullpen for a trusted closer. To see our stats on the back of our baseball card, visit wrongfullyinjured.com. Fonville Lewis Messer McConaughey. Personal injury law is all we do.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show, at least for today. Thanks for tuning to it. I'm Jeff, that's Tom, and a fine Balls McWednesday to you and yours. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you're going to listen live via the streaming free. Always, don't miss anything. If you do, get back at us. We'll post all 3 hours to iTunes and in our own audio vault. You can always email the show if you like. It's JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at J Cameron Show. The WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. Hello, YouTubers. Go to YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee. You'll find us there. Business as usual. So we've got the booking. It's over. It's over. It's a bad day in England. Across the board.
Yes, it would seem that way.
Toughies.
Yeah. World Cup, spoiler alert, I guess that means.
Yeah, I suppose. And Wimbledon, spoiler alert, and everything else, right? It's tough times. I will just tell you that I can't but help myself at a time like this but to enjoy Twitter, for this is what it's made for. To go find the people that troll England after a loss like this. It is perfect. It's just fun to watch.
Oh, sure. For obvious reasons, given England's history, just things like that happen to us all the time too here in the USA.
Without question.
But for Croatia, too, to win a match, obviously another one in Russia after beating the host nation. I'm sure that they're loving life right now.
No, I like looking at all that. It makes me laugh.
Croatia-France is a complete snooze fest for me, though. I fully expect France to win that game by 2 goals or more, and who cares? That's unfortunate. England-France would have been, at least you could have made a bunch of jokes about centuries of history.
Yes, you could have, and I was looking forward to doing that, but since they cost us dearly now, okay. Look at you, Croatia. Okay. I'm kind of proud of them. It's fun to, it's unexpected.
Yeah, it was a goal in the 109th, somewhere in along those lines.
108th minute?
108th. So it looked like it was going to be an offside play from that side angle, but it wasn't even close. It was a header into the 6-yard box and a good, solid finish for Croatia.
Indeed. And so it is that is in the books. And it comes on the same day as another historical event. And as the Pirates shut out the Nats today, 2-0, Tom, no doubt on equal footing.
You guys got a big home run from one of your kids, right?
No, Marte has been there with us for a while.
He's not a kid anymore?
No, Starlin's been there a little bit, man.
Oh, gosh. Yeah. Where does the time go?
At J Cameron Show, @_Tom Lang, did that UCLA riff arise organically or was it mapped out? No, that's organic. That's that could be a cause to certainly criticize the program, or it could be the direct result of it's July the 11th, and it's easy to go wandering down another path or two.
That was as organic as it gets.
That is as organic as it gets. It was fun, though, because I almost did it for myself. Because I knew.
You've been saying it without the specifics.
So yes. I've been saying it for so long that I thought, as I said it yet again, I went, let me double check that I'm not crazy, that they've just always sucked for 35 years and all the time we continue to talk about them like they have a chance to be any good and they've been decent 3 times in 35 years. Let's go look at it. And then that's how it happened. I do know this. A lot of people are sending me the ticket, the Saturday Night Live SNL 18 golden ticket that has made its way to Twitter today, all because of my comments earlier this week that those in attendance are quote-unquote losers. I don't mean everybody. I'm sure that didn't go over well.
You don't mean everybody that goes to the Saturday Night Live recruiting event. I'm going to check that with the truthometer here. Let's see where we're going.
I mean, majority. 4 to 6 sitting in Doak Campbell, sweating your ass off to watch kids in T-shirts run.
You're going to make that a priority on a Saturday, huh?
Is it a Saturday?
Well, it's Saturday Night Live. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Good Lord, I'm out to lunch. It's not even night. It's 4 o'clock on a Saturday.
Saturday evening.
Maybe Saturday night if you went out and made it part of a big to-do with 6 or 7 other things, and it was like just a one-stop. I'll check in to support the program.
Right.
Come on, kids, choose Florida State. Let's take it on down the road and do something fun.
Yeah, you get Vanilla Ice back for another concert.
During the entirety of the event.
There it is.
He has to play throughout while kids
One
run
half
40s.
of the field is Vanilla Ice. The other is the 7-on-7.
And it's just, that's fine.
So people are there for the concert, and they can just kind of check
and
over
they look
there.
out at, who's that fast kid? Boy, is he quick. I mean, what do you... I'm worried where that's going. I know why Willie would do it. I don't blame him. I'm not blaming the coaches who put these things on trying to win over the services of these kids. They got to. That's their job, right? And people bend over backwards in ways that are uncomfortable for me as I watch us recruit.
Yeah.
But this is the modern game. This is what happens. I get that. But it doesn't mean you and I have to be there to watch some kid that's...
I think if you charge $5 for it at that point, you could denote who really is a diehard in the recruiting game because it's free. Since it's free, somebody might take their kids. I don't know.
Oh, I'm not blaming anybody that takes kids to watch athletic events to entertain young lads and young gals. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you're the 48-year-old dude who cares way too much about where Steve goes to college to the point where you're going to ridicule him and yell derisive things because he's said lately that he's going to take other visits or whatever it is, then, and I'm fearful that's who makes up this group.
Or are you putting live updates on the message boards? Here's what I'm seeing so far, guys. What, if you're not paid to do that and you're showing up and saying, all right, here we go. Kayvon Thibodeau. He's doing the shuttle drill.
Good feet. Oh, man.
I'm sure he has great feet.
I'm sure every kid
He's the
there
number
can
one recruit
really
in the freaking country.
I know. I listen.
I don't actually have him as number 1 on my board, though, guys.
Right. My board. Steve's board. The Steve, what I think board of recruiting. But this could sway me. This performance I'm seeing out here today, he's got great feet, a lot of fast twitch.
Right. And every 3-star that commits to us, they're like, oh, well.
He's probably going to be a 5-star soon. Wait till they get a load of him. I saw him at Saturday Night Live. I saw him at the recruiting event, and man.
Check the tape.
Yeah.
Yep,
Go
exactly.
back and watch that.
That's not a 3-star player.
No, he's a 5-star for sure.
I mean, I know he ran a 4.9, but he's
got other factors that would weigh in here. You guys just see that time, and you immediately dismiss him. But I was there. I was at the SNL 18, and I'm telling you now, he can really use his body. High points it.
Yep. The 5 stars were all in street clothes at that point, but, he was really.
I could just, you see what the coaches see in them after that event. I know it.
He was going against those class of 21 kids. He was holding his own.
Dominant even. I don't know what these guys have been looking at. He is absolutely a 5-star. You can tell, too, he's got room to put on weight. He's got a lot of strength to him. It's still the best years of football are ahead of him. There's no doubt. It's going to be right here in the Garnet and Gold. I talked to him afterwards, too.
Switching Verizon internet cards to make sure you have the best quality to hit F5.
Oh, damn it, man. I didn't want to do that.
Well, now Willie's never coming back on this show.
I'm not blaming Willie. I just got done saying he's got to do it. I'm going to see Willie tomorrow. Coach, looks like you're going to have a good time at the SNL on the 28th.
Can you at least have free concessions to give people an excuse? I went there for the free food, man.
Now I feel like I should go to this. Just to document
the anti-attendance.
No, we should do it just to see so we can zoom in on certain guys, film it.
Just to people watch?
Yeah, check that dude out. I don't know who he's going to send that
to. Well,
to.
you would have to get a custom shirt made, ifollowthekitties.com.
Well, now that's funny. We could. chance to relaunch my old website, ifollowthekitties.com. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Hi, Chris Kraft for Kraft Nissan, checking in to see how your summer is starting out. At Kraft Nissan, the deals are already hot with available 0% interest for 60 months on every new Nissan we sell. And all 2018 Frontier pickups have a $1,500 rebate plus 0% interest for 60 months. All 2018 Rogues are $4,000 off MSRP with prices starting at just $21,965. Note, I said all Rogues, not some, are $4,000 off. 2018 Versa S's start at an unbelievable $12,960 for a new car. But the true star of summer is the 2018 Altima. All Altimas, and we have over 60 to choose from, are $6,000 off MSRP. That's right, all 2018 Altimas are $6,000 off with prices starting at just $18,970. And as always, all Kraft Nissans come with our exclusive free lifetime warranty. So before you head off on your summer vacation, head to Kraft Nissan for unbeatable prices. Prices include dealer preparation charge, must finance through NMAC with approved credit, and take delivery from dealer stock.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting events? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
The 15th annual Kingfish Shootout is almost here. The tournament is being held on August 4th and 5th in Carabel, Florida. Entry fees are $400 per boat, but with a sponsorship of $1,000 or more, you can get 1 free boat entry. Purchase a ticket for $100 to enter the boat raffle for a 2018 Nautic Star Flats boat valued at nearly $40,000. Ticket sales are limited to 350 tickets, so act now. There will be a mandatory captain's meeting held on Friday, August 3rd at 6 p.m., followed by a free dinner for captains and crew. To register, visit their website, SeaQuartersMarina.com, or call them at 697-8400.
Are you looking for a trucking company you can work with till retirement? Do you want to feel like you're part of a family instead of just a truck number? If so, join the Early Trucking family that's been trucking for 25 years. ETC offers a benefit package that's second to none, including a 401k, paid vacations, sick leave, health insurance, Aflac group rates, and long-term care with only 2 health questions and a $1,000 signing bonus. They have regional dry van, hopper, and tanker lines available, home every weekend or more. Go to earlytruckingcompany.com to fill out an application. Help ETC keep agriculture in motion.
Today, business happens here, and virtually anywhere. Because today, innovative companies are reinventing the way business happens. And they need people who can keep up. With the expertise and technology to get packages to over 150 million delivery points. So, who can help you deliver the future of commerce? The United States Postal Service. See why we deliver more e-commerce packages to homes than anyone at USPS.com/future.
You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. You know, I feel like I've made great strides in my ability to sell a pillow to you. I say that because I've been able to win over even those that are jaded, those that are overly cynical on a daily basis. Yesterday, I got a text, Tom Lang, and this may be the great endorsement of my prowess as a pitchman that I've been waiting for. I got a text yesterday from a mutual friend, Matt Millar, that he pulled the trigger after my ad.
Oh, my goodness. He broke down and did it.
He did it. He said, you know what? You asked the question, Jeff, when am I going to jump on board and start experiencing the kind of restorative sleep I need, or that at the time I noted that I was getting? And he said, now I'm going to make that call because you're offering me a buy one, get one free special, so screw it, I'll do it. And he did.
So an indirect producer endorsement from Matt Millar.
That's right. Now, he hasn't received his pillow yet because he just ordered it yesterday, so we'll have to get word on that. But you can go to MyPillow.com if you want to do as Matt Millar has done, and so many before him. That's right. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the buy one, get one free special. Use my promo code 979ESPN. You'll get one free pillow when you buy one at regular price. You get yourself a pillow and you say, oh, I got another one coming. It's good. Click on the buy one, get one free special. Just be sure you use the promo code. I'm saving you money. In this case, I'm getting you a free pillow. 979ESPN. 979ESPN. That lets them know that you heard me talking about it. So I get a little bit of credit. So they're, hey, that guy down in Tally's at least doing what we're asking him to do.
Asking him, yes.
Yeah, we're paying him to do. Well, but they pay the station, and I get a little piece.
Yeah, the questions are through dollars.
That's right.
Here's a question for you. Here's another question for you.
However, I do use the MyPillow pillow, and I would not endorse them if I didn't enjoy my sleep, my restorative sleep on said pillow, Tom. I would have turned it down. You know that's true. So
this is true.
So here's the point. If you guys want to use the phone, call 800-944-6596. If you want to go online, go to MyPillow.com and use 979ESPN. You know, there's another Bosa. There's another Bosa.
A third Bosa?
Apparently he's a beast.
Really?
Like
Was he in the high school ranks right now? Or are you talking about the Ohio State Bosa? I knew about that one.
Oh, maybe I've got it wrong. Maybe I've mistaken. Maybe there's not a third Bosa. Maybe there's just that other Ohio State Bosa who was like the other Bosa.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, I don't think there's a third Bosa. I read somewhere there was a third Bosa. It's just the second Bosa. But apparently, the current Bosa, who's a menace in the NFL, says his brother is way better than he is. And I'm looking at a video of him at Ohio State, and it would appear that he is, in fact, looking like a more dominant player. If I can get this to turn off, man, automatic videos, I tell you what.
This is something that Daniel Jeremiah was big on for this draft class. As he said, I'm looking at Ohio State games, Ohio State footage, be it for opponents or somebody else on the defensive line or linebacking core, and I can't take my eyes off of Nick Bosa because what he does every play
is wreak havoc.
Yes, he fundamentally affects the game from his position every play.
Well, we were in a break, and I was just clicking on projected impact players of college football, and this is all in line with something that I was doing today, which you guys can all watch as War Chant unveils this week to week. We did our top 40 that we do every year, and you and I actually like this because we do this a lot of times together in studio. We'll just sit around and I'll say, I've got so-and-so number one. What do you think of that? And we'll just shoot the breeze on this, compare and contrast notes. And then we shoot the video. I shoot the video with Gene and Ira and Corey today for FSU's top 40 players. And what goes into that is it's not just talent, it's impact, it's importance, all of those things. So there could be a guy who's infinitely talented but just can't get on the field this year or in past years. So a guy, I'll give you a perfect example of that guy right now. Amari Gaynor just missed out making the list. But we've seen Amari Gaynor. We already know he's going to have a huge impact on this team. It's just that the group thought, not this year. And so he was 41 if you looked at this. He's the guy just outside the top 40.
Okay.
So I was looking at other teams and other players across the country during our break just now, and they have a highlight reel of Nick Bosa. And I went, wait a minute, is that a different Bosa? I thought that was Nick Bosa, and then I mistakenly read something wrong, and then you just...
There may be a third one in high school.
You just righted the ship here. But anyhow, watching that video, I'm here to tell you, whoa, that guy is freakishly good.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying attention to Nick Bosa. He's a freak.
Yes, this year upcoming is supposed to be the year of immense pass rushing talent available in the NFL level. But if you talk to anybody talk to anybody, listen to me. If you listen to Daniel Jeremiah or Mayock or...
If you're on the NFL people, yeah.
Yeah, McShay, they already talk about him, and he would have been top 5 if he was eligible to come out this past draft. And at that position, too, because defensive line, you got to have to be a man. You might be able to get by in college with speed, and some players can, and they're limited to the next level.
Yeah.
But they're saying he's barely legal to drink, or maybe he isn't even yet, and he would already be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft.
Well, to look at him, he does fit the category of freak. Some kids do. A kid, bringing it back to Florida State, there have been a series of guys over the last number of years that have come through at Florida State and that have immediately turned our head and had us thinking, as a freshman, he could have an impact. He's a guy that might be able to step in right off the bat and make a impact in places a lot of times where you wouldn't suspect it was true. That happened on the defensive line. We've seen a couple of guys right up. Most recently, Marvin Wilson's a guy that I think we all thought right away, you know what, there's a guy walking in at a position that you would never suspect could do. Timmy Jernigan's the obvious answer, but I'm saying even recently, Marvin.
Well, with Derwin James being the freak that he was and still is, to say that Marvin Wilson is the true freak, when Marvin is a true freshman on campus, that has to carry weight because game recognizes game.
Well, and, in addition to that, Jaden Woodby is a composite top 20 player in our lists. That is remarkable that they've had the likes of a Derwin James, Jalen Ramsey, and a Jaden Woodby now walk through these doors and have all of us go, wow.
Is he really already going to be that big of an impact player? I would love for that to be so, that he is because if he's a top 20 player.
He is in the composite rankings of what we
That means he's a starter week in and week out.
It means he's likely, yes, he's getting a ton of reps, that's for sure. That top 20 of the composite, I don't want to give it all away, but he's on that, and Tamron Terry is on that list too.
I believe that. Now, that makes total sense, given the way the offense is going to be constructed, what we've seen out of him physically, both in practice last season and the spring game just a couple of months ago.
Well, I've got a specific question for you then at the position group, Tom. Let's look at wide receiver and what's necessary for Willie's offense to really take off this year. What's going to happen for that group? Well, how much stock do you put in what Keith Gavin has to do? Or are you more inclined to say that doesn't matter, Tamron Terry is going to take a lot of reps and he'll be the next guy that we're bragging about, excited about, and lauding as opposed to Keith Gavin? Nooney Murray, Mr. undependable. You can't depend on Nooney Murray. You haven't ever been able to depend on Nooney Murray. And yet, Naquan could be a star in this offense. And if he's healthy, could be a superstar in this offense.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of ways you can go with this. And I would say that Terry is probably the most predictable heading into the season from the receiver core. DJ Matthews probably next up. And then it's kind of a debate between Keith Gavin and Nooney Murray. Probably Murray would be next on the list of dependable to produce. And then Gavin would be the ultimate X factor. And that's to say nothing of George Campbell, who, you don't even know if he's going to be healthy enough to play. But it's an interesting debate. I think Terry's number one on the list because we've already seen what he can do from a body control standpoint. It's off the charts. He has recognition of where to put his feet near the sidelines. He has the ability to break back on the ball in a back shoulder fade. He can catch the ball away from his body. Keith Gavin hasn't always shown the ability to catch the ball away from his body. There were a lot of opportunities last year in traffic where maybe he wasn't tough enough. It looks like Terry isn't afraid of contact.
I'll just say this about the Terry thing, man. It's going to be the shining example, and there will be many, but it's going to be the shining example of why people continued to scratch their head and argue in the way that they formed questions with Jimbo Fisher and his inability to find a way to get certain levels of talent on the field simply because they were freshmen. I'm not one of these guys that says that he never did it, because he clearly did. I mean, we saw him do it. Rashad Green's a good example. If you came in and you knew how to run a route and you were disciplined, you can get on the field. Not an overabundance of freshmen, but there were guys that did.
Yeah, Travis Rudolph had a decent freshman year. Yeah.
Okay, so there have been a few. But there are others still that wowed all of us in the open practice. And this is the one. Tamorrion Terry's the guy that we watched rep after rep, 15, scoring play after play, and we're going, well, I know he's over there with James Blackman, who's not going to play, or so we thought.
Mm-hmm.
And, Blackman throws a pretty football. It looks like but, man, that kid he's throwing to, who's that? And we kept talking about that. And then Willie Taggart, within seconds of arriving, watching bowl practices, said, well, there's your star. What are you guys doing?
Yeah. And to me, it's harder to predict the dynamic between Nooney and DJ, because I would think they're going to be used in the same way. And the question is, who wins the reps in camp? That's an interesting, subtle battle.
Well, DJ's going to do great in special teams, but I think if Nooney's healthy and strong, he's going to win.
But I would think if you're trying to run bubbles, right, and you want to have that be a look as your base play, so you got a dive or an inside zone plus a bubble to the perimeter, well, neither of those two are going to be blocking. It's going to be Terry, Gavin, somebody else.
Right.
So if they're both looking to be impact players from behind the line of scrimmage, make a guy miss and go, it's a similar role. Nooney could line up on the other side of the field by himself and make some things happen. I think he's more dynamic, obviously, than DJ potentially. But I just wonder, what's the base set going to be? What's the base personnel grouping going to be? And what can I predict most soundly?
Well,
Terry's going to be on the field, man. There's no way that kid is not on the field.
I completely agree, and I think therein lies the great intrigue and fascination with what this offense is going to look like. The personnel groupings, how they're mixed and matched and utilized. This system in general is all new to us. We see it across college football. We've seen certain teams run it, but it's not like the back of our hand like we've known what Jimbo ran. So this is going to be a lot of fun for us to go through the transformation and go, oh, so that's how they do that, or this is how they get that matchup, or this is, I'm excited about all of this. I mean, I have a base understanding of these things, the concepts, but watching your personnel groupings is very different, and it's fun.
Well, and that's where you might have one of the younger freshman receivers become an impact player. There's not much to this. I think if you can block, you're going to find the field. If Ermon Lane was still here as an underclassman and had not transitioned to safety yet, he would have a job if he cared to, and he cared to block when he was a freshman for Jimbo. But he would be able to block on every single play, because that's going to be a base look for us. So I just wonder, it's almost like you have to look at the receiver position completely differently. There's your alpha receiver that is going to be your game breaker, and I think Terry is the leading candidate, because not only is he a big body, he's fast as hell.
He's fast as hell, as we just saw, yeah.
Right. You need your scat underneath guy, slot receiver. That could be Nooney or DJ. But then you need a bona fide blocker. You need somebody else who can line up on the other side of the field and space everything out wide. Maybe a burner, maybe George Campbell or one of the new kids.
Warren Thompson,
right.
Armwood. 6'5", can go, big kid.
The kid that we got out of the state of Washington, his name escapes me. I'm sure I'll learn it once I see the rosters and the numbers and all that stuff. But we had a haul this year of receivers that would, seem to fit the bill there too. So that's the fun of it. You almost have to rethink some of these positions, which is also something we talked about with running back. There's no fullback anymore.
No.
So what is your tight end truly? Is it an H-back, a true tight end? And if you have dual running back sets, does that mean a regular tailback has to be a lead blocker? There's just a lot of different asks.
That's where Patrick can really help you, I suppose. If he's not being utilized in that way, he's going to be utilized in short yardage and / red zone situations inside the 10, goal lines, personnel type thing, I think. Other than that, I think when you're talking 20s to 20s, you're pretty much looking at the speedsters, the game breakers. The idea is to score quick.
But who is going to be you're an Oklahoma fan, or that's your secondary team? The Millard brothers. Those guys were H-back supremes. And I forget his name from Auburn, but that kid that was leading the way for Trey Mason was an absolute warrior, and he was also somebody you could roll out into the flats on play action, hit him with a quick pass, and here's 7 yards down the field. There's just a lot of...
Is that Trey McKitty in this? Is it Nasir Upshur? Who is it? Yeah.
Is it a running back? You know, is it somebody
Is it
Patrick? Because he's got great hands.
Yeah.
Is he reclassified as some sort of H-back role? There's just a lot of ways.
But this is all fun.
Yes.
Oh, this is a lot of fun. I can't wait to watch it play out, and then also to pick Willie's brain. I want to ask him those questions about personnel, and we're going to see a lot of battles here. It occurred to me as we were doing this today that Florida State is ridiculously deep at running back. I already knew it. But when you're going through the list and you've got a guy like Amir Rasul who falls into the late 30s on this list just because there's just too many backs, and he's kind of, I mean.
Right, but the speed that he has, too, is nothing to sneeze at.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, he could end up being a lot higher on this list. It's like no knock on him. It's just they're so how many times can you let, who else is going to touch the ball?
Right. Which is why I was thinking out loud the other day. I said, what the hell are the run-pass splits going to be in this offense?
I mean, I'd want to run it. I'd want to run it like 3 times to 1 almost.
Right, yeah.
It's crazy.
Could you blame Willie if it was 70-30, given the talent we have, and if we're just running the dive at time after time?
And go. And it takes these guys, you run into the line of scrimmage, teams that are playing Florida State, and we've known this going against these types of offenses, you got to win first down. If you don't, and then it's second and unpredictable, you're dead all day long. You're dead and all day long.
Well, and this is why I think that the quarterback position, although in theory, of course, you want somebody with a rocket arm who can move and is, get down the field for 10 yards if the defense doesn't honor it, and they play man, they turn their backs to him. You got to have somebody with a cannon for an arm to keep a safety core honest. So if you're going to line up your receivers all the way out to the coaches' boxes on either side of the field because you want to create running lanes. Well, if the safeties don't honor that because you don't have the arm,
you got to get it to him.
That's where DeAndre has to show that he has the cannon.
Well, that's the health thing, and Blackman has shown he has.
Yes,
that
he does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
So are the Makita deals at Cornerstone Tool & Fastener. Purchase a brushless premium 5-amp-hour hammer drill impact kit and receive your choice of a free bare tool and a free 6-amp-hour battery. That's a $260 value free. Makita introduces one battery, one tool for all your outdoor power equipment needs. Buy a commercial-grade Makita shafted string trimmer and add any other attachment, plus receive a matching blower free. A $189 value for free. Cornerstone Tool & Fastener with 2 locations to choose from, 1110 Stuckey Ave and 3269 Crawfordville Highway.
At Superlube, we pride ourselves on keeping your car maintained properly with our 20-point inspection. And right now at Superlube, take advantage of our half-price fuel system cleaning service to help restore engine performance and enhance gas mileage. Superlube offers quick and convenient service, and you'll never need an appointment. So come into Superlube today, get your oil changed, and a whole lot more. Superlube, with 19 area locations, there's probably one right around the corner right now.
How I love to Superlube my car, yes sir!
We know you can't make the perfect s'more until you've burnt a few marshmallows. We know the great outdoors. We love the great outdoors. Make this summer last during Family Summer Camp at Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Plus, get great deals on great gear during our summer sale, like select men's short sleeve shirts for under $15 and a 120-quart Igloo cooler for under $50. Go online to learn more. Bass Pro Shops in Cabela's. Your adventure starts here.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
I'm Michael Blank, attorney with the Law Office of Jose Fernandez. If you've been in an accident, I know this can be a scary and confusing time. Our firm specializes in handling all types of accident and injury cases. Let us guide you through the process and get you the compensation you deserve. Call 855-HOSE-305 to make an appointment for your free consultation today. If you can't come to us, we can come to you, day or night. Call us now, 855-HOSE-305, the Law Office of Jose Fernandez. We don't get paid unless you do. Offices, Tallahassee, Miami. Se habla español. JRFinjury.com.
Need help moving? 2 Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit 2men.com or call them at 850-224-2232. 2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
Broadcasting live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Cornerstone Tool and Fastener on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
For those of you that listen to the Beyond the Tips golf show that I do with Florida State head golf coach Trey Jones, tonight's cool, Tom. We'll be on 9 to 10 as we usually are on the PGA Tour channel, but Al Del Greco, former NFL star, is going to join us, former kicker and scratch golfer, and now college golf coach.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, he was with the Titans forever and a day.
Al Del Greco has had himself a transformation from professional football player, many years as a kicker, and to remember he would always win the celebrity, Tahoe tournament or whatever it was. Yeah?
It was he, and Trent Dilfer was always the second best NFL golfer. And Del Greco was just his nemesis. I do remember that because they would cover it in Tampa pretty closely.
Over the years, by the way, Al Del Greco is 56 years old, and over the years, what always cracked me up about Al Del Greco was that, you're right, he dominated, but you know who else? There were always 4 or 5 really good golfers that were former football players, and one of them was Al Del Greco. Another one was actually, a baseball player for the Pirates for years, used to win that celebrity thing, was Rick Rhoden of the Pirates.
Rick Rhoden.
Remember Rick Rhoden?
I do.
He would go out there and drop a 68 on your ass with the quickness. I'm like, man, how talented do you have to be to get to the height of your profession in any sport, first of all, and then take up another sport that you clearly would not have enough time to be practicing all the time because you're busy doing this other professional sport. How talented would you have to be to walk away and then turn around and be, a scratch? It's incredible.
It is incredible. I don't know that Mike Modano, the legendary American hockey player, was any good in terms of relative to par, but I do know that he would routinely hit the ball 350 to 400 yards before the technological revolution.
So he was just
he was just as strong as could be.
It should be noted that Al Del Greco kicked from 1984 to 2000. Dude.
So he might have been with the Oilers, too, I guess.
Yeah, he was with the Houston Oilers, and my friend and neighbor, Ernest Givens. Do you remember Ernest?
I do not.
Ernest Givens used to do he'd do the electric slide when he scored. He was a wide receiver, went to Lakewood High School long before I did, but he was my next-door neighbor.
You remember Lewis Givens, the walk-on at Florida State, turned scholarship athlete. That kid was a good player.
Yeah. But yes, so Del Greco kicked This is crazy. With the Green Bay Packers, 84 to 87. The St. Louis/Phoenix Cardinals, 87 to 90. And the Houston Oilers/Tennessee Titans, 91 to 2000. You have yourself a career from 84 to 2000. You're doing some things. And he's competed, by the way, in that American Century Championship there at Lake Tahoe every year. And that's at Edgewood Tahoe Golf Course that looks simply freaking beautiful every time it's on.
Is that the one that Michael Douglas plays every year?
I think, unfortunately, it's also the one that, that guy, my least favorite announcer.
Berman.
Yeah. He's always in that one. It's always disappointing to see. It's always kind of, it's just tough. It's just because he can't play and he has no business being out there. No business. None. No business. It's ridiculous.
I feel like he would announce what club he's hitting before he swings.
Obnoxiously so, I'm sure.
He would.
It just would be. He's now, anyhow, Al Del Greco is now the head coach of the men's golf team at Samford University right up the road in Hoover, Alabama, where you've been. Yes.
You know what?
And we were both. Now, I tried to tell you that there are places in Alabama that are civilized. You wouldn't believe me. But I have to admit to also being surprised at how nice Hoover, Alabama is. Hoover's nice. Yeah, you're like, I could be in Hoover.
It reminded me of Buckhead or Vinings in Georgia, where you're like, ooh, I mean, outside of Atlanta, you go, I mean, there's some nice places in Atlanta, but this is a nice collection of shops and stores and civilization.
By the way, Sanford's in Homewood, Alabama. He coached at a high school in Hoover, Alabama prior to that. But the point is it's Alabama.
Homewood, okay.
He's immediately back to suspect about that, huh?
Look up the geography here.
Well, it's in Alabama, Tom. It doesn't really matter the geography.
Of the state. No, it could be close to Mobile. It could be close to Hoover. It could be close. I mean, Birmingham's nice. If it's a suburb of Birmingham, then that's a nice spot. But if it's, just in the middle of the sticks, well, that's rough.
It's funny. I did tell you that a lot of these guys are better than you realize. I mean, a lot of these cities are better than you realize. But then even I, immediately when you say that, think, well, it is in Alabama. And any place you name in Alabama, I'm going to go, I don't know about all that. It's probably not good.
It's just to the south of Birmingham. So it might be okay.
There's plenty of people listening to us right now who went to Samford. Samford is a popular,
It's right where we were, dude. Okay, so
yeah, it has to be. Right?
Hoover and Birmingham on a line, straight vertical line. It's right in between the two. There you go.
So, did you know this about Tom Brady? He's listed as a 6. That'll piss you off.
6 handicap golf. Okay, gotcha.
He's a 6, dude. That really kind of angers me.
I wonder if that's true.
Ben Roethlisberger is listed as on the handicap index as just like a 1.
Really?
Yeah.
He can get around on the ball.
Roethlisberger can play. I watched him. He had a failed thing. He wanted to play the U.S. Open. I think the last time they were at Shinnecock years ago. Not this past year, but it was some. No, it was probably
Romo.
No, it was no. Roethlisberger played the black. What was the one that
Bethpage Black?
Bethpage Black.
Yeah.
He played that, and he wanted to play it to see what his score would be if it was in tournament condition. Mm-hmm. And this became like a charitable thing, and he played in it along with some other people. Might have been Romo. And he ended up being like 7 over or something. But it was still impressive because he got in the rough a few times and was like, well, that's a good, quick way to throw up a 90. But,
that is, but he would be a quarterback candidate to actually be able to get out of the rough.
He's a big, strong dude.
I mean,
he's a horse. Yes.
I don't know that Sam Bradford would be able to do that.
Aaron Rodgers is a 5.
I believe that.
I believe that too. Larry Fitzgerald is not great, but he's a 12.
That's not bad.
Oh, I mean,
I'm like a 12.
I would take
good golfer.
I would take that. Josh Scobie is a 2.5.
Ooh,
he can play a little bit. I'm looking them all up right now because I wanted to see where Del Greco ranked. This does not surprise me, by the way. Drew Brees is apparently pretty good. At one time was like a 4, although recently played in a tournament that was, I guess, geared up for a professional tournament, and he threw up a 102.
Okay.
So that's
a weak 4.
That's a Eli Manning is an 8.
Yeah, I believe that.
I believe it too.
I bet he's played a lot of golf in his life.
Matthew Stafford is apparently a 9.
He seems to be the guy. He has no short game, but he's got a lot of power. That's Stafford.
By the way, Sam Bradford at the University of Oklahoma would golf with that team, which has, of course, won national championships. And on 2 different occasions, on really well-thought-of golf courses, he shot below par. They don't know in this article what his handicap is, but he has played in tournaments where he shot below par.
That's great, but his shoulder will fall out of its socket at Bethpage if he's trying to get out of the rough.
When his shoulder is not out of his socket, he's shooting under par or par. He's a good player.
If he goes in the rough, they're like, the round's over. He's going to withdraw.
That's the end of it. Did you know this? Mark Ingram claims he once shot a 69 in 8th grade. But he stopped playing seriously, golf that is, once he became committed to football full time. And apparently Tiger Woods played with him to see if he was any good and reported that he was very good. Mark Ingram.
Really? So it wasn't on a Muni like 54 par that he shot 69?
No. He apparently can shoot. Well, he says he shot it in 8th grade.
Well, who is whispering advice in his ear? If you can do that in 8th grade, what are you doing, man?
Matt Schaub's a good player.
Live till I'm 80 and rich as hell, or die at 47 from playing football.
Jay Cutler is pretty good. That, I suspect, is true.
Yeah. I bet you got to watch Jay Cutler if he goes astray.
I don't think Jay cares enough to cheat, do you?
I think he does so quietly and casually you wouldn't even notice it unless you really honed in.
Did you just kick that ball forward?
Why would I do that?
I don't do that. Hand me my smokes. Probables, let's fire it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
By the way, Ryan Suckup, the kicker, is also a very good player with a terribly unfortunate name. Always has been.
He was
terribly
Mr. Irrelevant for the Kansas City Chiefs, I believe.
I don't know why I thought Suckup went to New England at some point. I'm losing.
That's Gostkowski.
No, he's there now. Gostkowski is. Hasn't he been there forever?
He took over for Vinatieri.
Yeah,
I think they're like the Steelers with head coaches.
It's
They're
crazy.
Like,
they find a guy.
Yeah.
We had a guy. Our guy should have stayed in place forevermore.
Yeah, but he didn't come to training camp.
Ugh. Yankees, Orioles, Sonny Gray, Dylan Bundy. We've got Reds, Indians, Tyler Mahal, Carlos Carrasco. Maybe that's Mahal. Brewers, Marlins, Freddie Peralta, Dan Straley. Phillies, Mets, Vince Velasquez, Jacob deGrom.
Hey, I heard of that guy.
He's good. I bet he could play golf. I do. I bet he could.
He was an athlete, yeah.
Strikes me as a golfer. Rangers, Red Sox, Bartolo Colon, Chris Sale. By the way, how did that dude do last night for you? Didn't work out.
No bueno.
Didn't see it. Jays, Braves, Sam Gaviglio, Mike Fultinovich. Oh! Roll. A's, Astros, Chris Bassett, Lance McCullers Jr. Cards, White Sox, Luke Weaver. Hey, Luke! Carlos Rodon goes for the White Sox. D-backs, Rocky, Shelby Miller, Herman Marquez. Mariners, Angels, Marco Gonzalez, and Jaime Barea. Dodgers, Padres, Kenta Maeda, and Joey Lucchesi. And that's a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
The autumn wind.
Soon, please, autumn wind, soon. Make your way to town. No chance that's coming anytime soon, I know that.
We had a pretty long spring, didn't we?
It's going to be hot at Thanksgiving. My prediction, a very hot Thanksgiving.
Okay. So that means the answer's no.
Cool games. Not one cool game this season.
Clemson could be a primetime kick on the 27th of October. You telling me it's going to be
mid-80s at best?
It's all the moths by the roof and stuff.
Right up there, flying right in our face. There it is.
Has that gotten worse over the years? I mean, you've been on the roof forever and a day, or was that just something you put up with back then?
No, I think it's just something we've always put up with. Moths have always been attracted to light. There are giant lights on the roof. I'm just saying, I don't think that's changed much.
Oh, I mean, that it went from like level 1 to Exodus Plague level of moth infestation.
I think some years, based on breeding patterns, Tom, there are certainly interesting bugs up there that aren't always there. I mean, we've seen things that look like they can carry you away. What Tom's referring to is the fact that we often go watch the games football games, that is, on the roof at night. And when you do that, you're literally by the giant lights.
They're humming. You can hear them.
Yeah. And then you look around, and there are some creatures up there that you have to keep a close eye on. You think that thing could go for my leg. It's a big ass thing. Is that a bat? And you do that. But no, I don't. I also don't think last year was all that bad. Lately, though, Tom, I've been spending so much time in the Tom Lang Memorial Champions Club watching the games that I don't know about the roof as much.
You have to get tickets to that, even though I pushed for it for years.
I haven't got tickets. I just go.
Right, and they just don't stop you.
They don't stop me. That's correct.
You know why last year wasn't a big deal? Because we didn't kick off at night. We were terrible.
Yeah, we lost a lot, and so I could just walk over there. They're like, glad to have you. Somebody's here. It looks like somebody cares.
I was there with the moths and the lights.
Oh,
they didn't have to turn the lights on.
Oh, I was talking about Champions Club, too.
Yeah.
Plenty of seats. Everybody, good. Fill it in, everybody. All of you. No, why don't you move over there? Get yourself comfortable. They still talk about trying to remedy that. Honestly, there is nothing you can do.
Short of enclosing it. Yeah.
No, and maybe you should enclose it. Like, really get you.
You should get a couple of windows so you can have the sound of the game, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Or something, certainly an awning that goes out across even further.
Yeah.
They need to do something.
That was the one thing, man. Listen, it's been a windfall for the university from what they say in terms of, the licensing fees you have to pay to actually, So
not as much as they thought they were going to get. Yeah.
Probably not. But given the pattern of the sun in the fall, you would think that they'd have, kind of a shade that traveled along with it.
I do like the spears that jut out, though. That was a good look.
It's a good look. The seats are a great look.
Oh, yeah. Just need them to be occupied.
Yeah.
Because here's the problem. If you give me the option of air conditioning and 109 televisions and good food, I'm going to take it.
Yeah.
And so that, got to think that through. I'm baking in the sun. I don't have to. I could walk right up there in the air conditioning, continue to watch our game along with every other game going on in college football, turn to my left and say, I'll have a highlight, please. Oh, look at that, pizza. I'm taking that option.
Yeah, and we could tell you from all those years, and so could the video game makers because they position the sun correctly in Doak, about what path it's going to take as the evening wears on. And if it's 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock in September, it's still 100 degrees.
Yes, it is. But I'm not bitching. I'll welcome it all back. Let's go. Let's get started. I'm ready to go. I saw another article today on the SEC meetings that begin next week, as do the ACC meetings, of which I will be attending 1 week from right now. I'll be there this time next week. What do you think of that?
I think that's a tasty apple.
You'll be in Brighton. You'll be playing golf. I'll be asking my man Adazio questions. Well, not on this Wednesday. I'll be asking Fuente questions. Probably. Thursday is the Atlantic Day.
Well, this is right around 11 o'clock local time. I'll be at a pub this time next week.
Yeah, you should be. Good times.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah, it will be. I'd rather be you in this situation. I'd rather you go to the ACC meetings, and I'll go to Brighton. Tom, good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a good night. We'll talk to you tomorrow.